Okay. Why does it keep popping out my chat when I do that? Doesn't make any sense. But it keeps doing it. Hi, is it Caton? Catton? I apologize if I don't say it right, but hello. Okay, let me do this. Do this. We'll get started. Thursday. Hello, Jay. Good morning. All right. And we'll get going. It's that time, Eli. Wait, oh, that one. Shell, that's actually a great song choice. You know what? I need to start a playlist. Because I'll forget. I'm going to call it the capital, the playlist. I wrote it down. I didn't change the goal, Rip. This is my goal every single day. I count down, sweetie. It's okay. I don't know, Rocketeer. I thought about it. I am thinking about doing it. It's harder for me to fact check when I watch live, because it's hard to catch all the things he says, which is easier to do the next day. But I can always do a next day debrief too, and also watch it live. If I watch it live, though, I need my friends, because I can't by myself. That's insane. I'll have to have a panel. Pinks, get this party started. Yeah. Or celebrate good times. Come on. Good morning to everybody. How's everybody doing on this? It's Thursday, right? It's Thursday. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. We will get started. I was ready. I wasn't ready at 9. I really wanted to start at 9, but I was not ready at 9. It's Thursday, so it's laundry day, so I needed to start laundry. Just planning on who I'm crashing out with tonight. I really want to. I'm sure my brother wouldn't mind if I used his computer to do that, but yeah, that's a mess. All right. But here we are, we're starting. If you're watching over here on TikTok, can you please start tapping that screen for me, please? I would appreciate it. We like to get to 50,000 likes before the first hour, within the first hour. But I know you guys can do 100,000 likes an hour. I just don't expect it of you. I think I should, because I know you can. But I try to be nice and expect at least 50,000 likes an hour. So let's make sure that we are tapping that screen with our fingers. Getting that going, I would appreciate it. Share the live out. You can repost it, especially before I start playing clips. I would appreciate it if you would repost it now. Add it to your story. You can share it to 5 of your friends. You can share it to more. I usually just say 5. It's a lot easier. Do your daily heart me if you have not done so. So I have, you should have a golden heart up there next to my name, because obviously you're already following me, and obviously you do your daily heart me every single day. So let's make sure that you do your daily heart me. It gives you access to stickers in the chat that you can use. We love that. I have the little roses goal that I get started with every single day. Let's start working on those gift goals. You guys knocked out my gift gallery, and W's to you. Thank you guys so much for lighting up my gift gallery. We no longer have to worry about that Hi, Michelle. But let's make sure that we are completing the gift goals if you can. I would appreciate that so very much. If you're watching over on YouTube, will you hit that thumbs up button for me? Even if you're hate watching, it does help push us out onto the algorithm in case we do get braver people who want to have a conversation about why they still support Trump based off of factually based evidence and not their feelings. Those are the conversations I am willing to have. So hit that thumbs up button over on YouTube. You can subscribe. You can become a member. That's always appreciated. You can send jewels. You can send donations, and you can send super chats, okay? If the chat starts moving too fast and you have something you would really like me to read, whether it is something to insult me because you never have an argument, or something to praise, or something to talk shit on MAGA, please feel free to send a super chat in order to do that. Hello over there on Twitch. I see you guys watching over there. Make sure that you are following me. You can subscribe. If you pay for Prime, you get 1 free Prime sub a month, courtesy of Jeff Bezos. Why not use it on me? If you do subscribe, you get access to emotes in the chat, and you can also send bits over there. But the best way to support me is, yes, I am triple streaming. I absolutely am. The best way to support me is through my goal. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Is my 100 goal that I have every single day. Guys, this is my job. This is what I do for a living. This is how I pay my bills, much to the chagrin of MAGA. So let's make sure we really piss them off today with my con artist grifting that they say that I do, with the Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio across all platforms. We can dollar train, $2 train, $5 train, start to get that 100 down. I don't think 100 is too bad of a price. For what I do, I think I could definitely charge for more. I sit here and I research and I educate, and we pay for women's labor on this platform. So let's make sure that we are doing that, all right? Okay. We shall get started, I guess. Oh my God. They're already I had to get through my spiel. They're already on here with the fucking phone lines. But phones are open now because I got through my spiel. A Bake, thank you so much for using that emote of me in a cowboy hat. That is also one of my favorites. I don't advertise that link, James. It's just there. It's there for you, but I don't advertise it. Okay. Hydrate. So we left off a little choppy yesterday, and I know that I was not on my regular schedule yesterday, so it makes sense. But we were a little wait, praises are worth $10 of praise, nothing free out here in Trump's U. That's true. That's true, Manny. We left off a little choppy with Blanche's confirmation hearing yesterday. Part of his hearing today is not him, but it is testimony that is either advocating for him to become the Attorney General or against him. So I have a little bit of those clips kind of put in here, but we are going to finish with Blanche today. That is the plan, is we're going to start with and finish his testimony. So we left off yesterday with Adam Schiff asking him about the fact that even within the DOJ and within the IRS, they were rejecting this lawsuit that Donald Trump brought against the IRS for $10 billion that led to a settlement of a weaponization fund that Todd Blanche claims is dead, and also IRS audit exemption for Trump and his family. So we'll get into that in a minute. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for? Who did you vote for? Oh, well, you're right. You didn't vote. What state are you in? Okay. Do you support Trump? Why? Better how? Like what? Name something. What's negative about illegal immigration? How does that affect you negatively? Which kids being shot and killed? Mm-hmm. And do immigrants commit crime at a rate higher than U.S. citizens per capita? Thank you, YouTube. Sorry.
There's less of them, but if we got rid of illegal immigrants, we won't have to deal with them.
What law did they break?
Coming into here illegally.
Which law is that?
Title 8.
Title 8, which law? That encompasses the entirety of immigration law. What else is there to that?
I don't know.
Okay, you should probably look that up before you make these claims, right? The issue that I have is that we know that immigration is a net benefit to this country, and mostly we have a detainment problem in way of people who are actually not charged with any kind of criminal activity. So we're just rounding people up in the street who have done nothing to us. So,
Every single one of them is a criminal.
no.
Yes, they are. They came illegally. They're criminals.
What determines if you're a criminal within our laws?
You break a law.
And how do we prove you broke that law?
I don't know. Oh,
You
bitch,
don't know
bitch,
how.
bitch, 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 bitch.
So you don't know how we prove that within the judicial system?
Yeah.
He thought I was going to hang up on him. Cool. So can you show me where a majority of the people we've been detaining have been proven to be criminals here through our judicial system?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought. So then why are you even talking about it?
Because I don't want them here.
Why not?
Because America is for Americans.
America. Which part of America?
Every part besides
Every part.
the territory.
So like Central America, South America, all the aspects of North America.
You're tone policing. You know exactly what I
No,
meant.
that's not what that means. No, I don't know what you mean because America is a continent.
United States of America.
Oh, you don't want them in the United States because the United States of America is for who?
The people that live here.
Oh, well, they live here.
All these other people are destroying our culture.
What is United States of America culture? What is that?
Well, our cuisine. All that stuff. I think you can infer.
What is United States cuisine?
Cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers.
French fries.
Where do
hot
French fries?
dogs,
Oh, where do French fries come
mac
from?
and cheese.
No, where do French
Germany.
fries come from?
Germany.
No. What?
Germany.
Belgium, sweetie. Same flag colors, different order. So that wouldn't be U.S. then. That would be Belgium. That would be culture of
adapted it.
Belgium. Burgers are from Germany. So what culture are we talking about again?
Hot dogs, macaroni and cheese.
Hot dogs are also from Germany because they come from brats. So no. Pasta. Where does pasta come from? No. Okay. I'm waiting for the U.S. culture. Or from Vienna? Oh, I'm sorry. They're from Vienna.
And
Cool.
still, football. We got
Football.
baseball, America's pastime.
Cool. Oh, baseball. How do immigrants affect your ability to enjoy baseball?
It's not just that. It's our national parks, too.
Our national parks. You mean the ones that Donald Trump just said we could start drilling on? So how are immigrants affecting our national parks?
So this is my anecdotal story.
I don't care about that. No, thank you.
I can't tell you?
No, I don't care. You can write that in your diary, though, but I don't care.
Okay.
Also, baseball did come from cricket. That's true. Football from rugby. Thank you, everybody. That's true.
Baseball's American. I don't care what the heck you say.
It is an iteration of cricket, which is from the UK.
Have you not seen the Ridiculous Six and how baseball was made?
What it became in the US versus what it started out as? Those are two different things. But again, how do immigrants affect that culture?
Because they're ruining our national parks.
How are they ruining our
everywhere?
How are they ruining our? Can you prove to me that immigrants are throwing shit everywhere in our national parks?
I can send you a video.
Of immigrants and that says that they are illegal? Are they wearing a t-shirt that says that?
They're Indians and Muslims. Of course they are.
How do you know?
These have accents. They're immigrants.
How do you know?
Because they're all there. It's a tourist trap. It's a melting pot.
No, it's a tourist destination, all you've done now is proven to me that immigrants are good for the tourism in the United States. Thank you. I'm glad we could come to that consensus.
I felt like the minority.
And that's bad. Why? Do we treat minorities bad in this country or something?
No, but they treat us bad in their countries.
No, prove what does that have to do with our country?
They need to treat us how they want to be treated. If we want to go to India, we need to have a tour guide to be able to do anything, okay? If they come here, they need a tour guide to do all this crap.
No, you don't. You could go to India without a tour guide.
Not in certain spots.
Where are you trying to go?
That mountains.
Oh, you could go to the mountains by yourself. You just probably get lost and die. You probably need a tour guide for specific areas because they don't want you to die.
Let me ask you something. If
Mm,
you were in Canada, right? And I
yeah.
said, yeah, Canadians live in igloos. Is that racist?
It would be incorrect information.
But you know what I'm getting at. Is that racist? Because it's a stereotype.
Is it? Is it a stereotype that Canadians live in igloos? I haven't heard that.
Well, it is. Also,
No,
then
it's
what if I was
not.
like, what if I said black people like watermelon?
Yeah, that's racist.
But why isn't it if I say it about Canadians? Or what if,
Because
is
there
it
are
racist
indigenous,
if they call me,
because if you were talking about indigenous Canadians who might have lived that way at one point, then yeah, that would also be racist. You think all Canadians are white?
no, they're all
Oh,
those Indians up there
Indians.
from
Indians are from,
India.
uh-huh.
They're
And they
all
don't
in
live
there.
in igloos. So no, that wouldn't be racist towards Indians.
And don't even talk about Native American, because I am Native American, lady.
Indigenous. What
And
tribe claims you?
the Ottawa,
They claim you?
I'm part of it, yes.
The tribe itself has claimed you.
I'm part of the tribe.
Oh, okay. Good for you. What the fuck does that
I'm not very involved.
all I said is that if you're speaking about the indigenous people who used to live in igloos, yes, that would be a racist stereotype. It's interesting. I don't come across them very often, but there are sometimes I do come across people who are bad at racism. It's interesting, but so you're Canadian?
I'm not Canadian.
Oh, okay. Where are
I'm
you?
Indigenous American. And I also have Jewish in me, too.
You have Jewish in you.
Yes, Ashkenazi Jewish.
Right, you're ethnically Jewish. That's fine. What does that have to do with me? What does that have to
And
do with
also,
immigration?
wait, you tell me this question right here. What is it more racist if a black person calls me, let's say, white trash, if I
No.
call them the N-word?
No, because you can't be racist towards white people.
What?
No.
That's racist.
No, it's not.
You can be racist towards white people.
How?
What do you mean? You're being racist saying that you can't. You're a racist.
I'm not. I'm white. So no, I'm not. No, you can't be racist towards
What?
white people because racism was a structure, it was a system designed to oppress people of color. And seeing as white people have never been oppressed because of their color, no, you can't be racist to white people.
So if they're like, hey, let's go beat up Whitey, a bunch of blacks, that's not
Black
racist.
people. See, you're using your own racism by saying blacks. It's black people. If they say they want to beat up whitey, no, that's not racist. There might be some sort of prejudice or bigotry there, but not racism. No, because they have never had the balance of power systemically.
We have equal rights. They need to
Oh,
get their act together.
really? They
Yes,
have
black
equal
Americans need to
rights.
get their act together.
Mm-hmm. They have equal rights. Sure. Mm-hmm.
And
Disproportionately, they are over-policed and in the judicial system have harsher sentences for things
maybe they should
that
stop
they
killing
commit.
each other.
They're not.
Yeah, they shoot each other. That's what they do. They're gangs.
All black people are in a gang?
No, there's so many, like
Oh,
Clarence
they're not
Thomas.
white gangs?
Yeah, actually, those are the famous ones.
Those are the famous ones. Uh-huh. Like what?
Like
Name them.
the mafia, the mafia.
The mafia. Okay. What else?
Mm, MS-13.
That's a white gang?
Yeah,
Okay. What else?
more famous white gangs.
Yeah.
Let me think. We got the mafia.
You said that one.
Mm.
I thought you said the famous ones and you could only name me two?
Oh no. Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. That's one.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's
Aryan.
another one?
You can't say it correctly, but that's fine.
Simon City Royals. That's another one too. So
Why do
yeah,
you know them? That's my question. Why do you know so many of them?
because Google.
Oh, did you just Google it on the fly? You said that they were famous, so I would have thought you would have just known off rip, but I guess not.
The mafia. Do you know? Wait, name a black gang without Googling. Hands up. Hands up.
I don't believe that there's such thing as a black gang, so no, I shall not do that.
West Side Crip.
Only black people are a part of that?
Yeah.
Prove that to me.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Cool.
What
I'm gonna
race
look it up.
is the West Side Crip? African American.
What source is that?
AI overview.
That's not a source. What did Google AI source in that? They usually give you little paper clips right next to what they source that.
Oh, okay. Wikipedia, and UnitedGames.com.
Wikipedia? You're way, way too racist for being 18. You should probably get out of Reddit and Discord servers.
I love black people.
No, you don't.
Not the ones that kill, but I like black people.
What about white people that kill? Because they kill at a more higher rate.
Because there's more white people in America.
No, per capita, sweetheart.
I don't know what that means.
Oh my God. You don't know what per capita means? Google it. You're Googling. While you're sitting here, Google it.
Okay.
Cool.
Per person.
Right.
But that I don't have a source for that. That's AI overview.
What are AI overview is citing what?
Wikipedia.
And?
Investopedia. And Indeed.
It's citing Indeed?
Yeah.
Google, how do we use per capita in statistics? Why don't you Google that while you're sitting here? To be fair, Weasel, we don't know if he graduated.
This is AI overview. To calculate the average amount of metric for each person in a specific population.
Okay, so that would mean that we are sampling the same
Well,
population.
hey, we need a source.
That would, you're the one, what's the source that it gave you?
These are all .coms, not reliable.
What source did it give you?
Investopedia, Reddit, Go Cardless, YouTube, Indeed.
Investopedia.
Robert Niles, Investopedia.
Investopedia is a good source.
It's .com though.
That doesn't mean anything.
It has to be .edu or .gov.
No, it doesn't, because whitehouse.gov is a terrible fucking source, and that's a .gov, so no, it actually doesn't. But what it is saying is that we use it in a unit of measurement of the same amount in population. So if we're looking at about 10,000 white people versus 10,000 black people, that is how we are getting that statistic for per capita. It's usually about 100,000 is usually the statistic that we use.
Let me ask you this. If a black guy from the hood comes in and then a white guy comes in, who's more likely to shoot you?
Probably Donald Trump, because he said he could do it on Fifth Avenue. So actually, probably Donald Trump. W's to Manny for the $10. Said, please give me the news. I was trying. I was trying to give you the news. It didn't work. But W's to Manny for the $10. I appreciate it. And can I get also W's to Michelle for the $6.66 for being an amazing bitch? I just included that as part of the kick pool because, like, what the fuck? By the way, I think I'm going to increase the kick pool for ridiculous guests. We're going to go up to 20, no offense. But people be asking for 50, and good for them, they should. But I'm just saying, a bitch deserves her money, because what the fuck was that conversation? I apologize if that was offensive to anybody. That is not anything that I want to have happen on my panel or on my platform. However, sometimes I need to let them embarrass themselves. I just need to let them do that. All right. As we're sitting here, guys, we're going to go back to the news now, hopefully. So let's keep tapping that screen, please. We're at 33,000 likes, so you guys are doing fucking amazing. Thank you so much. So let's keep working with that. We got the little chili peppers up there. Let's work on getting those done. He was so scared. Well, he thought I was going to drop him when he said bitch, 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 bitch. He really thought I was going to hang up, and I don't think he knew what to do with it after that. So, that's great. For the 100 of you watching over on YouTube, if you could hit that thumbs up button for me, I would appreciate it. That's your best. That's what you got. Awesome. Cool. Let's go to Schiff. So, Schiff goes to ask Blanche who wrote the memo. The memo that we have read probably two 3 different times on this platform, which is the memo that allows Donald Trump and his family to be exempt from IRS audits. They keep talking about it in the past tense. I swear to God, when we read this memo, it was pretty much in perpetuity. So I don't know where they are getting that it was just this past year's taxes, unless I read it wrong, which I could have. But we read it 3 different times, and it sounds like he would be exempt from audit in perpetuity. So don't quite know what they're getting at there. But he's going to ask Todd Blanche, did you write this? Did you write it? So we're gonna check that. Okay. Sorry, I'll also apologize to you two that you couldn't hear the first part of the call. Not that you really needed to, because you heard the rest, and that went well, didn't it? But I had it muted and I forgot. I'm sorry.
Well, it's in the plain language of your agreement. Did you write this language?
You have to use the facts, though. He hasn't filed taxes yet. So when he files taxes, there's no protection based upon this agreement.
Did you write this language?
Did I type it up myself?
Did you write this language?
No.
Well, you put your name to it.
I did.
So who wrote this?
I don't know the person that actually typed it. I don't know who it is.
Was it one of the president's lawyers, or was it someone from the Justice Department or IRS?
This document would have been somebody within the Department of Justice.
Well, you have no idea who that is.
I don't know the name of the person that typed it.
You don't know who wrote it, but you signed it. You have no clue about the chain of command of who wrote this letter?
And did you debate with them the statute of limitations, which clearly would preclude the president's claim, this $10 billion lawsuit?
We had extensive discussions internally about the underlying litigation.
And did you reject the statute of limitations defense?
I'm not a judge. I don't reject.
But you signed an agreement for the U.S.
There was discussion around
you signed an agreement for the U.S. basically indicating that the Justice Department's position that the statute of limitations applies doesn't matter.
I did. That's not what I said.
So you signed it, but you don't know who typed it, who wrote it, but you signed it. For all of you freaking out in the YouTube because I showed Adam Schiff, can you please relate to me what that video was about? Can you? Can you just give me a quick two-sentence summary about what that video was about? Because that's how brainwashed you are. That I don't think you listen to the videos that I play. I don't think you listen to the things that Todd Blanche says, because you have been so programmed to say, Shifty shift! Ah! And that's sad. I thought you guys weren't sheep. I thought you guys could do better than that. So do better than that. Show me that you can. So in continuing with that, Dick Durbin is going to ask about the tax and investigation exemption for the president and his family. That is what the next couple videos are about, is asking Todd Blanche about this fucking memo that they used in a settlement, which, by the way, they're getting in trouble for because the judge said, you used my courtroom from one end of the administration to the other end of the administration, and used me as monkey in the middle to come together to create a settlement that was beneficial for the president.
I want to ask you about the immunity provisions that you signed relative to the responsibility and liability of the president and his family and their businesses when it comes to tax audits. Would you like to explain how we can give to the president and his family and businesses exemptions from complying with the tax laws of the United States?
It's not an exemption to comply with the tax laws of the United States. As part of the settlement, it was an agreement that any past audits would end.
The United States, your signature, the United States releases, waives, acquits, and forever discharges each of the plaintiffs when it comes to tax liability. That's how it reads. It's pretty sweeping. You don't believe that is a discharge forever from liability?
Of any past filings, yes.
All right, it is.
Where does it say that? Okay, we're going to find this again. I have it on an old outline, but let's see. I want the actual letter again. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Okay. Let's read it again, because that's the best way to do this. You see how that works, by the way? Guys, did you see? Did you see? I know I went by fast, but did you guys see how Google AI overview gave me an overview, but I clicked on the links because it said Politico, and then Politico, thank God, because if not, I would have got off Politico and found somewhere else that hyperlinked so we could get to the justice.gov for the actual letter. Do you see how sources, receipts, timelines. Okay, I'm sorry. Can't help myself. The settlement agreement in Trump v. Internal Revenue Service has created the Anti-Weaponization Fund. That's a different conversation. So we're going to go to C because that's the one we need to talk about. The United States releases, waives, acquits, and forever discharges each of the plaintiffs from and is hereby forever barred and precluded from prosecuting or pursuing any and all claims, counterclaims, causes of action, appeals, or requests for any relief, including injunctive relief, monetary relief, damages, examinations, or similar or related reviews, appeals, debt relief, costs, attorney fees, expenses, and or interest, whether presently known or unknown, that as of the effective date of the settlement agreement have been or could have been asserted by defendants against any of the plaintiffs or related to affiliated individuals. Okay, so maybe based off of the date and have been or could have been. Maybe that's where we're talking about last year, including without limitation family or others filing jointly or parties, including trusts, parent, sister, or related companies, affiliates, and subsidiaries by any reason of, with respect to, in connection with, or which arise out of any matters that were raised or could have been raised in the case or pending agency claims, lawfare, and or weaponization, any matters currently pending or that could be pending, including tax returns filed before the effective date, before defendants. Okay, so since they're writing it in past tense, they are meaning past tense. Okay, I just want to double check on that. Let's go back to Dick Durbin questioning him.
How do you explain that to the American people, everyone in this room, all of us on this side? We have to follow the tax laws of the United States. And if we don't, we can be held responsible for it, to the point of even criminal prosecution. Why did you decide that President Trump and his family and their businesses should be exempt from that same responsibility?
As part of the settlement between the IRS.
Rip focus. You said AI overview says Politico wrong a lot. AI overview wouldn't say that. A separate source would say Politico was wrong. What source is that? Like, that's the thing you guys don't understand. AI overview is okay to use as long as you are citing the sources within it. Don't just read the paragraph that AI overview or ChatGPT or Grok gives you. Look at what they're sourcing for their paragraph. Okay? That's all I'm asking you to do. We use AI overview with each other, but we make sure that we source what we're reading. That's it. That's all we're doing.
And President Trump and some of his family, 2 of his sons and his organization, as his...
Politico is wrong then. Got it. That's not what I said. I said what source is saying Politico is wrong in what particular instance. God, you guys are simple-minded.
Typical when there's a settlement between plaintiffs and the IRS. Part of this...
Sorry guys, I'm sorry I keep stopping and I'll go back a little bit so we can go back and listen. But Joyce, I literally have never talked about Sasha Riley, and there's a reason. I talk about Epstein all the time. I actually have a whole Epstein section we haven't gotten to. Maybe we can get to it today, but I doubt it. We will get to some Epstein survivor testimony today though, because that is in this section. But I don't talk about Sasha Riley, and there's a reason. Because I'm not seeing credible evidence in way of testimony. So maybe go argue with the people who do talk about Sasha Riley, because it's not me.
Of any past filings, yes.
All right, it is. How do you explain that to the American people, everyone in this room, all of us on this side? We have to follow the tax laws of the United States. And if we don't, we can be held responsible for it, to the point of even criminal prosecution. Why did you decide that President Trump and his family and their businesses should be exempt from that same responsibility?
As part of the settlement between the IRS and President Trump and some of his family, 2 of his sons and his organization, as is typical when there's a settlement between plaintiffs and the IRS. Part of the settlement included a release of any past audits. It does not give any...
Right, but the difference here is that the fucking plaintiff was the president of the United States who, although you're not meant to represent, you do. You even said yesterday, I am his lawyer, was his lawyer, and you also represent the government. So you were representing both parties, the suing party and the party being sued. So that in and of itself would be unusual. A settlement deal wouldn't be. Donald Trump, by the way, not the first person and probably not the last, unfortunately, to have their tax returns leaked. Now, I have said this multiple times on this platform. I will say it again. Donald Trump said he would release his tax returns. He said he could not because he was being audited. Okay. But he said, I will, because I'm the most transparent man in history and I will release them. He never did. A contractor within the IRS leaked them. That is illegal. That person was prosecuted and put in jail. Good. They should have been. Because although Donald Trump sat and lied and said he would release them, it was still on Donald Trump to release them, not anybody else to do it for him without his permission or consent. Okay? That person should be in jail. They are in jail. Yay, we love that. Judicial system works again. Okay? Okay. Shouldn't have happened. However, does not give Donald Trump the right to sue himself, to sue us for $10 billion. Okay? Okay. Also not the only person this has happened to, and they didn't get a slush fund nor exemption from tax audits.
Protection to the president, his family, or his organizations for any taxes they file. If they filed it the day of that I signed that agreement, or the day after, they have no protection.
No matter what their liability, no matter what their violation of tax law, you signed a document that forever discharged them from any legal responsibility.
Right. So if they committed any kind of tax fraud within this last year of taxes, there's no accountability for them for that. None. Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. And this is from today. This is Liz Oyer. We've played her a couple times. If you don't know, she used to work within the DOJ. And this is just a quick clip of her talking about the fact that Todd Blanche keeps saying the weaponization fund is dead. It's moot. It's dead. It's not going forward. And as Republican Senator John Cornyn, who now has a backbone because he's not going to be running against Tallarico in Texas, he suddenly found a backbone. It's weird how Republicans do that once they're primaried out. I wonder what that's about. Could it be money and power and control in elections? And Citizens United. Anyway, John Cornyn found his backbone, and he yesterday talked about the fact that although Todd Blanche says the weaponization fund is dead and moot, unless it is in writing, the administration could still sue. And Todd Blanche admitted this. The administration could still sue for breach of contract and say that a fund needs to be created and distributed. That could still happen. And so this is Liz Oyer, a former DOJ employee, reiterating that point, that unless shit is in writing, contract, it's still just out there in the ether.
Mr. Blanche has repeatedly placed President Trump's interests ahead of the interests of the country. The collusive settlement agreement is a perfect example. It protects the entire Trump family and all of their businesses from any investigation or audit forever. It gives away nearly $2 billion of our money for no reason at all. It is a windfall for the president and his allies at the expense of the American people. A court found that signing this agreement was a betrayal of Mr. Blanche's duty to zealous.
MRADs. I do. And this isn't even my nice one. This one is one that has the breast milk of my children in it that I had made. That's this one. But I actually have a diamond that I don't wear because I don't want to lose it. But sure.
Represent the interests of the United States. That is the most basic obligation of the Attorney General. Mr. Blanche said yesterday that the settlement fund is dead. It is not. That is Contract Law 101. Mr. Trump or his sons could seek to enforce it at any time.
Unless it's in writing, it still exists. That's how that works. But again, it's always interesting to me. I don't care. You can keep insulting me. I can keep combating it with the fact that you're just too fucking scared to call in because you can't defend this man anymore with facts. All you have is your feelings, your sunk cost fallacy. They wish it was phallic. Fallacy. That's all you have. So that's why you insult me. You insult me because you have no facts behind the things that you believe, and you're desperately, desperately angry about that. So we go back to Shifty Shift about taxes. Again, back to taxes.
Let me ask you about another matter. You have your name on. I don't think you can deny responsibility here.
and that is the IRS settlement agreement. So
Yes.
you put your name on this. That absolves the president of tax liabilities in the past. The president was convicted in the case you represented him in of falsifying
Hi,
business
Swarovski.
records in part for tax purposes. Does this settlement not absolve the president of any liability for tax crimes associated with what he's already been convicted of?
That's not what he was convicted of. It not having to do with
Well,
for tax
I'm happy to
purposes.
read the statement of facts. The participants took steps that mischaracterized for tax purposes the true nature of the payments made in furtherance of the scheme. So you know,
The
Mr.
participant
Blanche,
there was not the president. It was somebody else.
Well, if the president is conspiring with others to falsify business records to help them cheat on taxes, he is also exposed to liability. You know that as well as I do.
He can't be audited for that.
And of course he can be. Of course he can be. And he can be prosecuted for it. But the agreement you signed on behalf of your former client, on behalf of your current client, in a staggering example of self-dealing prohibits that. Let me ask you this. Does this tax agreement, this addendum you signed, also hold him harmless from any audit or tax liability with respect to the billions in crypto money he made
Yeah, he absolutely can be audited for that.
in his first year as president?
It's not forward-looking. So to the extent there are taxes filed by the president or his sons or the Trump organization after the date of that agreement, there's no protection.
Well, but before that agreement. So any
So he
taxes.
hasn't filed taxes
so
yet
any-
for money.
You focused on the part that it's breast milk. Yeah, it's breast milk jewelry. I have a necklace. I have this ring is also breast milk. You can actually see this one a lot better. It's breast milk that I had left over from my children. Why is this shocking? Is this an issue? Weirdos.
Money he made last year, right? So
Yes.
no.
So if he
So no protection.
if he filed tax returns this year for money he earned last year, that his sons earned, that his World Liberty Financial, all those people earned and defrauded taxpayers on it, he faces no liability under this
No
agreement you
evidence. There's
signed.
no evidence taxpayers were defrauded, and he
But,
is
but
not
there's
protected.
there's
He is
evidence in
not
this
protected.
agreement that
He's not
you've
protected.
absolved him of any liability over.
No, I
it.
just said he's not absolved. So the question
So this
was,
agreement doesn't apply to a tax return filed last year
To
or
tax
filed this
returns-
year.
to tax returns filed after the date of the agreement? No,
No,
it does not
before the
apply.
agreement. A tax return filed in this calendar year before this agreement.
Before the agreement, it applies, not after.
Okay, so for a tax return filed this year for last year, for the billions he made, there's no tax liability, even if he cheats on his taxes or his kids do or his business do. He is absolved of that further potential liability.
No.
Well,
What do you mean no? That's what the memo says. If they file their taxes this year for last year, me talking to clients, filed taxes this year for last year's taxes, and in his taxes last year, he defrauded in some way, he cheated in some way, he is exempt from audit or prosecution. That's what that memo says. What the fuck do you mean no?
it's in the plain language of your agreement. Did you write this language?
You
by the
have to
way?
use the facts, though,
Did
that
you-
he hasn't
did
filed
you-
taxes yet. So when he files taxes, there's no protection based upon this agreement.
Did
No. For what? Not for this year, for the last year, which is what you said. My God. Doesn't. Okay, so now we're going to do a, no, we'll do this one first. So this is Senator Whitehouse. Senator Whitehouse is going to talk to Todd Blanche about the fact that the DOJ has lost their good standing reputation with judges and with the judicial system. They really had a good relationship a lot of the times, as we know, right? That's where you have issues of corruption sometimes, but the judicial system works kind of hand in hand with law enforcement, with the DOJ. Chris, I love Senator Whitehouse. Like I love Senator Whitehouse. He is fucking amazing. He does not give them an inch, but they work in tandem, right? They kind of work hand in hand between the law enforcement agency and the prosecutorial team and the judicial system. And so the fact that you are now ruining that reputation with how much bullshit they have had in way of grand jury testimonies coming in and saying, hey, give us the indictment from the grand jury. And the grand jury is like, where's the evidence? You'll get it. And the grand jury's like, what the fuck? Like, the judges are watching this and going, what the hell? So this is Senator Whitehouse talking about that. Before we get to that, guys, make sure we are still tapping that screen. We're at 55,000 likes, which we hit before the first hour of me being live, and I appreciate that. So thank you guys so much. Let's make sure that we are doing that and continuing to tap, because I know you can hit 100,000. Let's keep working on it. If you're watching on YouTube, what you can do is hit that thumbs up button. I think there's little hearts that you can do. And I would appreciate that and appreciate your support. Guys, we have 83:34 left in the goal today. I am here until noon Mountain Time, so let's make sure that we are working on that. We can dollar train, $2 train. I am crowd-funded here. You guys pay for me so that I can pay George Soros because he breathed down my neck, or whatever other conspiracy theory they have of me being a paid liberal lefty lunatic. Whatever, however works, but we pay for women's labor here, so let's make sure that we are doing that. I would appreciate it. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio. Let's get to Senator Whitehouse.
Here's a word cloud of the commentary by federal judges about the conduct of your DOJ. These are red flag words that when I was a U.S. attorney would have provoked, at minimum, an internal conversation about what the hell went wrong, and very likely a conversation with OPR and maybe OPR pursuit. Words like pretext mean a lot coming from a judge about a government argument, usually enjoying the presumption of regularity. We need answers. I need you to be able to tell me that this kind of misconduct is going to stop if you're confirmed as Attorney General. Can you say that?
The Department of Justice works hard. The prosecutors work hard every day, and I appreciate the hand-picked words that you have behind you right now, but that's not reflective of the 100,000.
Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this. I had to go. That's why you heard that sound. Sorry. This is probably going to repeat a little bit of what he said in way of the word cloud, and I apologize for that, but it gets better with the conversation, and I don't have that full clip, so I had to go find it. So let's do this one. This one's better.
Between judges appointed by every president harshly criticizing the department's work in your tenure, grand juries rejecting indictments, judicial findings of outright misconduct, capable lawyers fleeing the stinking ship, this seems to be the most troubled Department of Justice in history. Here are some of the misconduct findings against your U.S. attorneys. And if I haven't put it up yet, here's a word cloud of the commentary by federal judges about the conduct of your DOJ. These are red flag words that when I was a U.S. attorney would have provoked, at minimum, an internal conversation about what the hell went wrong, and very likely a conversation with OPR and maybe OPR pursuit.
MRADs, no, the reason I don't take overseas callers is if you are overseas and you support Trump, come get him. Our president here has set precedent, two different words, precedent, has set precedent that apparently you are just allowed to kidnap leaders of sovereign nations. So if you're overseas and you like Trump and support him, you can come get him. That's on you. Let's read some of these word clouds before White House continues. These are words, judicial criticism from judges, okay? Terrible, disrespect, pretext toward court order, willful and intentional non-compliance, losing credibility, unprecedented, disingenuous, bad faith, sacrifice its credibility, willful disregard of court order, disrespectful, sham, lied, unconscionable, and shoddy. Those are not words you would want to hear if you're working in a prosecutorial office. And the DOJ is hearing it more and more often in a way that we never did before.
Words like pretext mean a lot coming from a judge about a government argument, usually enjoying the presumption of regularity.
James, what's the one way that you support him?
We need answers. I need you to be able to tell me that this kind of misconduct is going to stop if you're confirmed as Attorney General. Can you say that?
The Department of Justice works hard. The prosecutors work hard every day, and I appreciate the hand-picked words that you have behind you right now, but that's not reflective of the 100,000 indictments and informations that have been filed to do the work that I talked about earlier.
Indictments and informations.
today. And so while cherry picking a few isolated words from district court or magistrate judges in certain districts is something that you're entitled to do, it's absolutely false to suggest that this Department of Justice is not executing as we should and doing the right thing every single day.
I will tell you that you are wrong. That in the history of the department, this kind of criticism by federal judges is unprecedented, and it comes from judges of every different political persuasion. Let me ask about the FBI. How long do you intend to put up with that Kash Patel character? Are you good with his airplane jaunts? Are you confident he's not drinking on the job? Are you sure none of his travel is a pretext for vacation activities like snorkeling, Olympics, and visiting girlfriends? Are you sure he knows what he's doing? Do you vouch for
trying to
him?
find where he
Are you
had
willing to
the-
look at whether he lied to this committee?
That's an extraordinarily
He had, like, the
obnoxious
FOIA
question,
request.
Senator,
That's what I was
and
trying to
I have
find.
full faith in Director Patel and the work that he's doing every day.
These ones.
Great. You get to
Let's
own
go back
E.
here.
One last thing, if I may.
I'm not aware that that's true.
Well, take a look at it, and it's publicly reported, and the FBI reported it, and you should answer the question.
That was in regards to the $50,000 the FBI admitted was given in way of intelligence use, allegedly to Tom Homan in a kava bag. They were investigating that, and when the Trump administration came in and Kash Patel came in, they dropped that investigation into Tom Homan and the $50,000. That's what that was in reference to. Yes, that character. He hates, by the way, Senator Whitehouse hates Kash Patel. He absolutely hates him. And what is funny about that interaction, RTP talked about it yesterday, what is funny about that interaction between Senator Whitehouse and Todd Blanche later on, is that it forces Todd Blanche to admit that Kash Patel's doing a great job. Like, he doesn't like him either, but he's like, he's doing a good job. Like, so that was a funny interaction. Because actually, after watching RTP yesterday, I do have a little bit change of pace in regards to when they questioned Todd Blanche about pardons. I think that was fair. And his responses were fair. And also in way of Todd Blanche being smart. To be fair, I never thought Todd Blanche was stupid. He's not. That's actually what infuriates me. I talked about this with my husband yesterday and with my friends when we were watching Todd Blanche's hearing in a Discord call, which is certain senators are just dumb, right? You have people like Mike Lee. He's not a smart man. Okay? Mike Lee's not smart. I don't think that Kennedy is super smart. He's probably actually smarter than Mike Lee, which is sad, but not smart. Todd Blanche is smart. He just lies. Ted Cruz is smart. That man is a constitutional scholar and been up for the name being thrown around for a Supreme Court justice because he knows the law. He is smart. He just lies. And that's honestly more infuriating than if you're stupid. The bar is low, yes, but no, Ted Cruz is actually like, it sucks to say this. I hate having to say this, but Ted Cruz is actually really smart. He's just stupid in way of being a liar. So, yeah, cucks can be smart and disingenuous. Kennedy is accidentally hilarious. Yeah. Blinsky.
That's not the only one. Here's a list of unanswered questions that I have just
RTP is a Nazi since when?
asked. I don't know how it is that the chairman thinks that you've cooperated with the committee or that you've been transparent with the committee. That is not my experience.
James, you said if the Democrats ever want to stay in power, they have to give illegal immigrants a real process and guarantee the minimum wage to people coming to the U.S., not use them as basically slaves. Well, the thing is what I don't know what that has to do with the Democrats being in power, because we do know that a lot of the people that come from the countries that they come from actually are pretty conservative because of their religious basis and their religious bias. So a lot of them come in and they're actually conservative. So I don't know how that would help the Democrats, but the Democrats have been the party that have pushed for legislation to giving them a pathway to citizenship. I would agree with that. I have no problem with giving pathways to citizenship. The commonly used stupid is not necessarily reflective of their education, but what they say on the floor. Yeah, exactly, Manny. That's fair.
You said earlier that you welcome our questions. Great. Answer our questions. That's the real point.
He's a clown and racist. He is white, so he probably has deconstructing to do. The clown part, I don't know, did he go to clown college? Does he juggle?
Where we've failed to get answers to our oversight questions, we've actually had to revert to the Freedom of Information Act, the general law of government transparency, to try to get answers from the Department of Justice. Here's how we did. Not well. We have this stack of questions that you haven't answered in the nature of oversight. We have this stack of FOIA requests that you haven't answered.
So I want to read some of them. 1. DOJ Office of Professional Responsibilities investigation of Emile Beauvais. Do you remember Emile Beauvais getting put in charge as a judge and having a lot of issues in regards to that, of who Emile Beauvais was and how he worked. So apparently we haven't gotten information on that. It's been almost a goddamn year later. Communications between DOJ political appointees and Trump-appointed judges. That would probably be a good thing to know. Review of Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell suspicious activity reports. We still do not have that. We have been asking for that for a long time now, which is they have reports from the banks that Epstein and Maxwell used, okay, showed suspicious activity, right? Like your bank will flag suspicious activity. It was flagged. They have put in FOIA requests for this information and it is not being released to them, okay? Specifically from the FBI and the DOJ who have it. The transfer of Ghislaine Maxwell to a minimum security prison. We want to see the form. We want to see who signed the form. We want to see the reasoning given for why she was moved. I've been saying for a full year, FOIA requests are not getting answered. Yes, correct. Investigation of Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. So there's an investigation into Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. We want the documents in regards to that. Investigation of Tom Homan's $50,000 bribe. We would like to see the investigation that you guys halted, canceled, stopped. Where's the information on that? You haven't answered that FOIA request. Disbanding anti-kleptocracy initiatives. We know that the administration came in and immediately started disbanding committees, investigative groups, and departments that's job was to go against people stealing from the federal government or stealing from tax money in general. Still don't have those FOIA requests answered. Threats against judges who rule against the Trump administration. It's kind of a big one. Kash Patel classified document grand jury testimony. DOJ approval of Trump's Qatari Boeing 747 gift, which is interesting. What happened? Because he flew it to Europe. What did he fly back in? And what happened there? Does anybody know? MAGA, do you guys know? I doubt it. What did he fly back in? Because he definitely flew to Europe in the Qatari jet, but where did he fly back from? Oh, Air Force One. Okay, why? Because there was a leak. Yeah, he flew back in the original Air Force One. Because there was a leak that came out that the Qatari jet was still not, a blimp is crazy, was still not secure. There was still national security risks. And now that that leak came out, that there was a national security risk in regard to the Qatari jet, Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio, they're all working on investigating and actually subpoenaing people within the government's records, email records, and phone records to find out who the leak was, because they're very, very mad that we now know what we already knew, which is that you could not secure this goddamn jet in the time you said you could. It was going to take about 10 years to secure it in the way it needed to be secured. We knew that. You guys said, no, it'll be fine. I guess it wasn't fine. But maybe we should get the FOIA request answered on that. DOJ White House contacts policy and DOJ something of Jan 6 rioter Jared Wise. Oh, the Jan 6er who said, go in and murder them. We have that on video when he was there at the Capitol that day on January 6, 2021, saying, go in and murder them. And we hired him in the DOJ. Cool. Got it. Awesome. Senator Whitehouse continues.
And I think it's important for us to believe that you actually take seriously your constitutional oversight responsibilities in order to confirm you, that you actually take seriously your obligations to this committee, irrespective of party, majority or minority, in order to confirm you. So I will ask before we get to a vote on this, that you take a look at these and get us answers. Where we have had answers, Mr. Blanche, they have not been informative. They have been blow-offs. So let's move on to Trump versus IRS.
Which we covered a little bit already yesterday, so I'm not going to replay that. But I just wanted to have that for the FOIA requests and for the word bubble, because I think that was better. Let me highlight these so I know I covered them because I will get lost. Let's move to Senator Coons on the January 6th pardons in regards to the pardons. Now, I had a different opinion of this before I listened to RTP. That is why I love listening to all of our wonderful creators on this side. People like Matt, people like Hector, people like RTP, people like Amanda, all these wonderful, wonderful people that we have. Erica Shante, one of my favorites. God, I love Erica so much. I love her. She's got my kind of attitude. That's why I love her so much. But just because you get different perspectives, people think different things. Mia, who needs to go live more. Mia, who has brilliant fucking perspectives. You and I have to message you later. Because we need to collab. I'm just terrible at picking out a subject. That's really what it is. I'm just bad at picking out a subject. But you need to go live more because you're fucking fantastic and amazing, and I don't care what you say, and you're wonderful, and I love you, and we need more of your voice out there. Put on pants is insane. But you get different perspectives, things you didn't think about. Don't you dare leave. Things you didn't think about, wonderful ways that people's brain works. And I love it. So originally I was like, oh my God, Todd Blanche is not answering about the pardons. Actually, to be fair, my things when Todd Blanche was answering about the pardons was he's throwing Donald Trump under the bus. And I was like, this is great because Donald Trump's going to hate that. But to be fair, if Todd Blanche were any other person, let's say Donald Trump actually put somebody in there who didn't have a connection to him, wasn't his lawyer in a personal capacity, just somebody who was equipped to do the job, like under a Biden administration or Trump's first term, right, when he had Bill Barr, who didn't have any connection to him, but just kind of like establishment politician in that way. I think they're meant to be independent of the agency, even though they're under the executive branch. I think that he should answer this way. I think that's fair. I think he should say it's Trump's power to be able to do so. Now, if we want to have a critique, which I will later, about the pardon power and how all-encompassing, and I've talked about the pardon power before, I hate it. But yeah, he probably shouldn't have an opinion on it, really, to be honest, because it's not in his job description anywhere to talk about pardons. So I did change my opinion about being mad at him about his answer in regards to this.
How many people were convicted of assaulting law enforcement officers on January 6th?
Thank you, James.
I believe around 120 approximately, but I could be off a few more.
You are. The answer is more than 200. And how many of those individuals had their sentences commuted or were pardoned by President Trump?
President Trump either commuted or pardoned every defendant from the January 6 events.
That's correct. And in this room right now and outside this room are Capitol Police officers protecting us in this hearing room. How many of them do you think might have friends or colleagues who were attacked by supporters of the president on January 6th?
I don't know the numbers, but I'm sure many of the Capitol Police officers who are here today were working on January 6th or knew people who were.
I'll just say that I consider it a shameful slap in the face of the men and women of law enforcement for those convicted of assaulting police officers to have been pardoned.
Now, I do too. I agree with him. I think it's a total slap in the face to say that you support law enforcement and then literally pardon everybody. Now, we said this. I don't think he should have pardoned really any of them. They could have gone through the judicial system, but especially the ones who were convicted or pled guilty to violent crimes against law enforcement. I think that that's a fucking problem. Now, Todd Blanche, he gets asked about it a couple of times from a couple different senators, and he kind of just says, like, Donald Trump has the full pardon power. And I know that sounds like he's protecting him and he's just giving non-answers. I think that's fair for a nominee for attorney general. He doesn't have anything to do with the pardons. So it really is, like, if you want to talk, like, I will talk about that. The fact that the pardon power is so powerful and so all-encompassing, it doesn't require a reason. Like the president, I don't care who, this is not just Trump, I want to be clear. We can talk about Biden and his pardons as well. I understood why he did. It was his son. I understand that. It was his son. He loves his son. It was the only son he had left after Beau died. I totally understand all of those things. The pardon power for the president is too powerful. Now, the only way to combat that is going to be a constitutional amendment of some sort or a piece of legislation to be able to quell that power. But I just don't think the president should have that kind of power without some sort of body. I think Manny put it in, I don't remember if it was yesterday or one of the other days. Manny put it in there kind of perfectly, which is just a conversation. Oh, I think it was yesterday, right? You'd put it in the Discord chat, which was a conversation about like having a panel of judges who decide. Let's say the president says, I want to pardon this person. Then you have to have a panel that goes through and decides whether or not they can. Like, I think that would be totally fair to me. I don't think it should be all encompassing, but it is what it is. Now, what I can admonish Blanche on, okay, is going to be this side by side here, specifically about January 6th. Now, it's not about the pardon power in and of itself. It is about talking about the fact that he, in front of Congress yesterday, said that probably most likely people who hurt cops shouldn't have been pardoned, or hurt cops would not have access to the weaponization fund, and yet that is completely different from what he said at CPAC. Tasty Cake, you said, yeah, at both state and federal. Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, like, the governor, I think that would be at scale, right? Like, the governor being able to pardon without a panel behind them deciding, I think is too powerful as well. I would totally agree. I think that should be sweeping across the board. Absolutely. But this side by side, this is what angers me. It's not about the pardon power or talking about the pardon power or being neutral in regards to having an opinion about the pardon power. It is how he spoke about Jan 6ers in Congress yesterday versus how he did it at CPAC. Been an anti-pardon guy for a while. Good. I'm glad we found something we can agree on.
And you've bragged that bringing justice for violent rioters meant that every one of them was either pardoned or had their sentence commuted.
Almost everything the senator just said, and he's protected, he's allowed to lie, but almost everything he just said was absolutely false. I wasn't celebrating it, I was merely stating a fact.
If you look at what happened to the men and women convicted because of January 6th, by 5 p.m. on January 20th, every one of them was either pardoned or had their sentence commuted, okay? So when folks say you've done nothing, I say you have a very short memory.
I don't know. I mean, it does very much sound there that he's defending the decision to pardon these rioters.
That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, he tried.
That doesn't sound like just stating a fact. That sounds like, look at the power of the administration that I work for. Don't like that. That's where I admonish him for it. I don't like that. Okay. Keep going. I told you we have a lot of Blanche. We'll see what we can get through today. We're getting there. So they're very, very upset. Now, you heard me speak earlier about the Qatari jet and how Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio and the Trump administration are very, very mad that there was a leak, allegedly, of information in regards to the Qatari jet not being secure enough to fly, which is why he had to fly home in the original Air Force One. So much so that they are now, I read the headline the other day, I read the article, that they are putting in warrants and subpoenas for people within the government's emails and phone records to try and find who leaked it, okay? How do you get a subpoena? Let's go through that for. Spell it. Spell subpoena. Keep saying subpoena. How many times can I say it? How do you get one? Subpoena. Subpoena. You guys are just making fun of how I say it. You're not helping. As we're sitting here while I wait for an answer, because I know there is a little bit of a subpoena. I know there's a little bit of a delay. Guys, 83.34, we haven't worked on that at all. That has not budged at all since we got it down to 83.34, and we need to. So can we please work on that? $1 train, $2 train, $5 train. Let's get working on bringing that down. This is my job. It's what I do for a living. So let's make sure that we pay me for that. Okay? I know that we can. So let's work on that. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio. Nobody has told me how we get a subpoena. Why don't we Google it together? We like to do that. We like to Google on the fly. How to obtain a subpoena. Let's do, it's the Colorado branch. I just want like in general, let's do a federal one. How to obtain a federal subpoena. United States courts. Okay, so this looks like it is an example of suppose a subpoena supposedly supports suppositories. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Kelly, from a federal judge. So this is a United States District Court for the whatever, plaintiff v. plaintiff, subpoena to produce documents, information, or objects or permit inspection. But we're going to go to the very bottom because it's going to be server signature, proof of service. You have to get a federal judge. So it's legal. So that's my big thing, right? It's legal. It is a legal document requiring you to produce this information or to hand over this information, which is what Pete Hegseth and them are doing right now. A lawyer and a judge. Thank you, Randy. But for some reason, Congress yesterday spent a lot of their time, specifically Republicans in Congress. Excuse me, let me correct myself. Republicans in Congress spent, what happened? What did I do? Mia, did you say it and I missed it? Is that what happened? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I have to take my accountability. Hold on. I'm sorry. They were all saying penis in the chat. I got distracted. Mia. My lovely, lovely Mia for saying from a judge, because you were absolutely correct. From a judge, a lawyer and a judge. Thank you. I love you. But for some reason, Republicans spent, stop it, don't laugh at me. Republicans spent a majority of their time yesterday crying about legal subpoenas of their phone records from Jack Smith. I'll talk about that in a minute. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Hello, Randy, 33, New York City.
What do you want?
Whoa, how are you today, ma'am?
I'm doing well, but every time you call in, you troll. You have no factual information behind the things you say, and it is a waste of my time.
Okay, I might have trolled that one time where I said...
What did you contribute yesterday?
Glazing Trump. You didn't let me contribute. You hung up on me.
Are you still supporting Trump?
I basically said, listen, I'm supporting the Republican Party, right?
Based on what policy?
Our strongest candidate right now is J.D. Vance, right? He's more disciplined. He's younger, more policy-oriented than Trump. He doesn't have these long-standing beefs.
So again, I ask you, what policy from J.D. Vance do you support? Yes, Chris, this is the third day in a row.
I'm not really familiar with J.D. Vance's policies. I just like his swagger, the way he
okay, so then why would I have a conversation about that? Because that sounds like something that you should write in your diary. It sounds like you might have an attraction to him, which, you know, he might have to you, because he talked about Biden and ice cream on Rogan yesterday. But I debate politics, I debate policy, so I don't know what we have to talk about then.
Alrighty. Would you like to say something and then I'll rebuttal?
No, see, because that's, Manny, I love you, Manny. This is that thing that you guys do that Manny has taught me to not do, which is I am not going to build an argument for you to combat. You either have one on your own or you don't. You are not going to just combat a policy. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to not call back in until you find a policy. Every time, Manny. Every fucking time. Well, will you just say something so I can automatically disagree with it? And then when I disagree with it and you ask me to provide sources for that disagreement, I won't be able to give you those sources because I just had to make up my argument on the fly? Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for? Hi, can I get your age, state, and who you voted for? What, you literally called while Randy was on the phone, and then you called again, and now you're just not going to answer? Okay, cool. Good for you. Anyway, now Republicans are crying about a legal subpoena given to them for their phone records by Jack Smith.
Now, maybe there's some nuance I'm missing here, but it sounds a lot to me like this guy didn't tell the truth. Have you thought about
Ralph, call in and tell me how he did the things he promised he would.
investigating this guy for perjury?
We take testimony in front of this body very seriously. Yes.
Good. Well, I think he absolutely should be investigated. I think he absolutely should be prosecuted, if at all possible. And based on his responses under oath, I think he should be. And I think it's time that we say that these people who did this, who engaged in this mass illegality, blatant violation of the separation of power.
It's not. What's illegal about it? It's not illegal because he got a subpoena. It's not illegal because he got a subpoena. Look, I'm trying to read. Okay, did the toll records that you requested from the senators, did they include the content of the phone calls? No. Did the records that you requested, the toll records from the member of Congress, include the content of text messages? No. Can you explain for us on the record what information generally is included in a toll records request? Sure. Again, my understanding from a prosecutor's perspective is it is non-content information. It's generally about when the call started, and it probably says when the call ended. Hello, if you guys never watched a Dateline episode in your life, what it will show is it's going to show, I have one. I can't show you because that's people's numbers and I refuse to dox them, but I have one in my Google Voice right now. It will show who called and the duration of the call. Who called and the duration of the call. That's it. That is all that Jack Smith got from that. Where's the perjury? I'm going to have him start again because I don't know where's the perjury?
Now, maybe there's some nuance I'm missing here, but it sounds a lot to me like this guy didn't tell the truth. Have you thought about investigating this guy for perjury?
Didn't tell the truth about what? Okay, so we don't have that information, but let's go to you crying about illegality when he received legal subpoenas.
In this mass illegality, blatant violation of the separation of powers, blatant violation of the Constitution. We know what they did to President Trump. We know what they did to everyday innocent Americans. And that's before we even touch the issue of trying to recruit spies into Catholic parishes, sending members of the anti-terrorism division to go hound parents who went to school board meetings. It's unlike anything we've ever seen in American history. And my view is there needs to be accountability for it. I hope that you will investigate Jack Smith for perjury, and I hope that possibly you'll prosecute him.
Yes, sir.
By the way, he's crying about illegality and not having separation of powers as he, as a sitting member in the Senate, the branch of the legislative branch of Congress, advises the executive branch and the DOJ to investigate and prosecute Jack Smith. Where's the separation of powers on that? Does that not seem politically motivated? Oh, okay. Just making sure that we have our ducks in a row, Josh Hawley, just making sure. And we keep going back to Schiff here. This is Schiff talking about the fact that they have refused, okay? They have refused to release Volume 2. Now, Blanche is going to say it's the judge who says they will not release Volume 2 of Jack Smith's testimony. Now, here's the thing. It's been appealed. So there was, if I remember correctly, there was an order from a judge to release a redacted version of Volume 2 of Jack Smith's testimony. They appealed it. So then a different court decided that they would not allow the volume to come out. So Adam Schiff is going to ask about that. Why don't you just release it? There's nothing to hide. If Jack Smith is a lying, perjurous shill for the Democrats, who's solely there to create lawfare for Donald Trump, why won't you release it? Because apparently he's got nothing, right?
No, what
So
I
you
represented
have also said, you've also refused to release Volume 2 of the Special Counsel's report. That was an investigation into the Mar-a-Lago documents case. How is that not an abundant conflict of interest? refusing to release to the public an investigative report of an investigation into your client.
I am not a judge. A federal judge.
No.
has said
The
it cannot be
department's
released.
position under you, Mr. Blanche, was do not release the report.
So that position.
If you went into court asking them to release it, it would be released by now.
Oh, okay. So your position was not to release it, and now you're trying to blame it on the courts. Now, they did this before. Okay. They did this with the Epstein files, right? We knew that they had information that they could release if they wanted to, without legislation from Congress that they later had to force. And they kept blaming the judges for not releasing the information because the judges said, you know, this is not the proper channel to do this with. You know that this would dox the grand jury members who are part of it. You have this information, sans the information of the grand jury. You could release it yourself. You do not need us to do it, and this is not the proper channel in which to do it with. And they just kept saying, the judges, we can't do anything, the judges. They're doing it again. The judge won't allow it released. You made it a statement within your DOJ that you would not release it. You could. It's sitting. Let's say it's sitting right here. You could release it. And you're like, well, the judge won't let me. No, it's right behind you, though. Well, but like the judge has a copy and they won't. Okay, but you won't. I mean, yeah.
So how is that not a patent conflict of interest?
What you're saying happens to not be true. I did not do that. What you're talking about happened before I became the Deputy Attorney
support the
General.
release of Volume 2?
No, I don't, but I'm recused.
Oh, okay. Wait, listen. So Adam Schiff asks him then. He's like, yeah, that's not true. I didn't do that. I didn't say don't release it. So Adam Schiff's going to ask him, do you support the release of Volume 2?
Asking them to release it, it would be released by now. So how is that not a patent conflict of interest?
What you're saying happens to not be true. I did not do that. What you're talking about happened before I became the Deputy Attorney General.
So you support the release of Volume 2?
No, I don't, but I'm recused and it had nothing to do with that case.
You recused yourself from that case? Do you support the release of the... No, I don't! Okay.
Like, you can't accuse me of violating my ethical rules and then lie about what I did.
So you had nothing to do with the decision to prohibit the release of the report? You had nothing to do with the department's position?
I wasn't in court.
No, I'm not asking whether you were in court. I'm asking you whether anyone sought your opinion or used your guidance in refusing to release Volume 2.
When
You're saying you had nothing to do with that decision?
litigation was ongoing, I was a private citizen still representing the President of the United States. It was before March. Since March, to the extent there's been anything in front of that judge,
Mr. Blanche, I asked you in your last confirmation hearing whether you would release the report, and your answer was no. Your answer was not, I will recuse myself. Your answer was no, I will not release the report. That was your testimony last before this committee. You subsequently were advised by ethics lawyers not to be in.
Uh-oh. So your answer before the committee before was no, I will not release it. And now it is, I recused myself and I wasn't part of it. Right, Chris, graduate level hair splitting.
Involved in these matters, but it appears you were involved in these matters. Let me ask you about another matter.
I wasn't involved.
Well,
you can't say it appears I was involved when I said I wasn't.
Let me ask you about another one you have your name on.
The truth has to matter at some point.
Yeah, it does matter. We just don't hear much of it from you. But let me.
Randy, I said you can call back when you have a policy that you support. Okay? I said that. And that you can back with factually based information, which I say every single morning to every single person. That you can call and support your policies with factually based information, not your feelings. All right, so this is Senator Hirono talking to Blanche about judges who agreed to the DOJ being entitled to voter lists. So he lies about it and says that there were judges that supported the idea of Donald Trump and the administration being entitled to voter rolls in regards of the states. That doesn't seem to be true because we are at like 15-0 now. W. Mark Elias, 15-0 now of judges Bush appointed, so Republican appointed, Obama appointed, Reagan appointed, that have denied the Trump administration access to these voter rolls. So where's the ones who agree?
Since last year, DOJ has sued 30 states seeking
Guys, as we're over there on YouTube, I see there's quite a few of you in there, and before the numbers drop off like they usually do, hit that thumbs up button for me, even if you don't like me. That's fine. Maybe you have braver people or smarter people than you that will bring in by hitting that thumbs up if you have not already. I would appreciate it. Guys, as we're sitting here, I'm kind of disappointed in you guys. We just now hit 100,000 likes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, but it's almost 11 o'clock. I've been on since 9:30, and we just now hit 100,000. That's disappointing. I know there's men on. When I say this, it is not, it's not because I dislike those men. A lot of them are my friends. They're brilliant. Love them in politics. It's just to point out the same patriarchal, misogynistic bullshit that maybe we haven't worked through yet. Obviously, I'm speaking into the ether because the people that are here and supporting me, I love you and you are here and supporting me. I'm just saying. I've seen the likes roll in for these people. I've seen the donos roll in for these people. I've seen the gifts roll in for these people. I'm still doing the 10 coin one. I'm still sitting at 83.34. I'm only sitting at 100,000 likes. I know where you go. I know where you support, and that's great. They're wonderful. Keep supporting them. Why aren't we supporting women? Anyway, back to the judges.
Since last year, DOJ has sued 30 states seeking their voter lists. 14 of those lawsuits have been resolved by federal judges. Mr. Blanche, did any of those 14 federal court judges from across the country agree with DOJ's legal position? Again, yes or no?
With some of the legal positions, yes.
Pardon?
The answer to the question is yes. Some of the judges agreed
14
with some,
judges?
Agreed with some of our legal positions, and most of those cases are under appeal.
Actually,
they're under appeal because the judges didn't agree with you. So which ones agreed with you?
that's not correct. The answer is actually no. These 14 federal judges, some of them were Trump appointees, disagreed with DOJ's position in terms of getting access to these voter rolls.
Well, I think
it's all part of DOJ's attempt and the president's attempt at election interference.
Which it is. But Todd Blanche is lying. I would like a source, Todd Blanche. Yes, Todd Blanche is not exempt from me asking for sources. Which judges agreed with what legal position that you held in way of the voter rolls? Okay. Is this the one? Yes, because then I have the video afterwards. Okay, back to Schiff, talking about recusal. If Todd Blanche is going to talk about recusing himself, let's talk about recusing yourself, because I'm sure there are plenty of cases that he should not be involved in that he is, and that he bragged about being able to do in way of firings, and so Schiff is going to call him out for that.
Mr. Blanche, you represented the president in at least three criminal cases, the hush money payment case in New York, the January 6th case, and the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case. You said when you appeared last before this committee you would consult with ethics lawyers about that apparent conflict of interest in handling any case involving the president, having been his personal counsel. Did you consult with Joseph Terrell, a senior ethics lawyer at the department?
I believe I met with Mr. Terrell, yes.
Did Mr. Terrell tell you that ethics laws and policies required that you not be involved in cases involving your prior representation of the president?
Yes.
So in those three matters, the hush money payment case, January 6th case, Mar-a-Lago case, you were to recuse yourself?
I'm recused, correct. Well, by the way, the cases are not ongoing, Senator, but to the extent there's any work around those cases, yes, I'm recused.
So you said to CPAC a couple months ago, the other things that are happening, there is not a single man or woman at the Department of Justice who had anything to do with those prosecutions, meaning the prosecution of the president. So you're saying that it's not a conflict of interest for you to be involved in the firing of prosecutors who prosecuted your client, your former client? There's no conflict there? Is that
no, there is. I wasn't involved.
So
that would be a conflict.
At CPAC, you're taking credit for the firing of these Department of Justice lawyers, but you're not willing to take responsibility before this committee. Is that the case?
No.
Okay.
I'm making, I said, there's a
you
statement
were,
I gave
you
at
were
CPAC.
bragging about
A statement. This is what he keeps doing. I just said something at CPAC. No, he bragged.
about this at CPAC, the firing of these prosecutors, the firing of the FBI agents, the getting rid of everyone who investigated your client. You were proud of that, speaking for the Department of Justice, but you don't think that's a conflict of interest. You moved to vacate, I don't think you're going to deny involvement in this, you moved to vacate the convictions of 12 Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, which erased their convictions, restored their gun rights. These people were convicted in the January 6th investigation, which also involved the president, who you represented. You were involved in dismissing those cases, were you not?
I'm the acting attorney general, so yes, my department moved to dismiss. I was not
So
involved.
you didn't recuse yourself from that matter. You were
No,
willing.
there's no reason to, from the Proud Boys matter.
Yes,
I mean,
it was.
lawyer,
it
you know
was,
the rules.
it
There
was
are rules that say when I
yes,
have to
there
be
are
recused,
rules,
and that's not one of them.
And there are rules. And when you're told to recuse yourself from investigations
I
that
always
you
do.
handle for the president, you're supposed to recuse yourself.
No, what?
Well, that's true. Now, let's see. He said he made a statement. I made a statement. I wasn't bragging. Sure. Unfortunately for you, the internet is forever.
The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, President Trump, myself, we are changing things. Full stop. We are changing things. And folks need to realize, and I think it's important to realize, that what was the first thing that we did to change things? It's what everybody in this room did. We reelected the president, right? That was the change. So I represented President Trump in the Manhattan DA case and in Jack Smith's prosecutions. So I lived it every single day for 2 years, what was happening. And this country, the people in this room, they're the ones that infected change. They're the ones that said, no, you had a man that was indicted 6 separate times, counting the superseding indictments. And yet this country said, no way. So that was the
Yeah, you guys are dumb and you like criminals. It's fine.
that was the first glimmer of hope that we can be better. The other things that are happening, there is not a single man or woman at the Department of Justice who had anything to do with those prosecutions.
How many have been canned?
Over 200. Over 200 either left before we came in because they knew it was coming, or were fired, or took early retirement. They are no longer employed by this department.
Is that not braggy? Let's go back a little bit, because when he first says it, you can see on the big screen here, he goes like that. He's bragging about it.
Who had anything to do with those prosecutions.
How many have been canned?
Over 200. Over 200 either left before we came in because they knew it was coming, or were fired, or took early retirement. They are no longer employed by this department. And when it comes to the FBI, which takes a lot of criticism, especially because of what happened over the past several years, Director Patel has cleaned house there too. There isn't a single man or woman with a gun, federal agent, still in that organization that had anything to do with the prosecution of President Trump.
But he wasn't bragging. No, he wasn't bragging. That's silly. What did she say? Blanche looks like Droopy Dog. He does look like Droopy Dog. There is also, and I can't fucking find it, and it's pissing me off. I cannot find it, even though I've watched a million videos where people use it as a GIF sticker in the comments. There is, if somebody can find it for me, I'll love you forever. Comment it on my latest video that I just posted today. There is a GIF sticker of like a animated, it's like super light. It's like orangish and pinkish background. It's animated, like CGI animated. I don't know if it's from something or somebody created it. It's like a fish or like a whale, but the head is like very humanoid and it looks like fucking Todd Blanche. And it's like this flirty turn that he does. And I can't find it, but he goes like this, like, and I can't find it, but it looks like Todd Blanche, and I need to find it so I can show you all that I'm not crazy and that it looks like him, and it's really bothering me. I just need to like go through my pictures and find it. It is this fucking, and it's got like sparkles and shit around him, and he just like turns, just like, And it looks like him, especially from the side. It's really bothering me that I can't find it. Anyway, he bragged about it. We saw that he bragged about it. It puts him in a conflict of interest position. I'm not saying that there has not been AGs who have not been in conflict of interest positions before. Of course there have. But I'm just saying that maybe those are the kind of people we need to make sure we are critiquing to make sure they're doing the right things. Thank you, Chris, for the jewels. I appreciate you. Okay, we continue. We continue. You guys I love you all so much, and you try, and it's amazing. I'm going to do this one first because it's easier. Thank you so much, Eric. It's Eric P55. Thank you so much, Eric, for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. That is, I can math. No, I can't. Nope. Leave me alone. Yes. Okay, I was right in my head. Damn. What the hell? Okay. I thank you for that. And then, which one came in first? Technically, Oh Me, Oh My came in first. W's to, did I do it wrong? Z-Spark, stop! But you guys know I'm not good with math. W's to Oh Me, Oh My for the 3334. Said, goddamn, give back Bondi. This guy's boring. Yeah, well, there is that. So now I'm going to do that math. Yeah. Did I not do it right? No one correct. You guys I don't like this. But I know that Oh Me, Oh My was trying to get me to an even position. I'm still at an even position relatively now. And then also Juicy Juice was trying to get me to an even math because you guys love me and don't want to watch me struggle bust this like I'm doing right now. So W's to Juicy Juice as well for the 334. You said for easy math, but it's not but I love you guys for trying and you still got to watch me struggle. So it's okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you so much. W's to Eric, W's to Juicy Juice, and W's to Oh Me, Oh My. Thank you, guys. I need an accountant. I do need an accountant. I do. Listen, I have an entire Google Doc or a Google Sheet that I write down everything that I make because I don't trust myself. We love you. Thank you. I'm glad you guys love me for that because we know it's a struggle in here. We do know that. W's to that Crow guy for the 1999 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Said this corruption is so fucking deep now and rooted. It makes me sick. Thank you, Monty, for the heads up. MAGA, fuck you. F you. Thank you, that Crow guy. I appreciate you. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Hey, this is Randy from New York City.
Okay, did you find out?
I call him back.
Did you get a policy?
Yes, I have a bill-by-bill list. Gender affirming care ban for minors with Marjorie Taylor Greene in July 2023.
You support that? Why?
Unfortunately, did not pass. Gender affirming care for minors, maybe if they were 16, 18 and above, where they're not minors. That would be cool.
What age range did you say?
No.
What age range did you say?
16, 18, depending on your state's.
You said 16.
Depending on your state's laws.
Are 16 not minors?
What's a minor? In some states they are, some states they aren't. I mean, personally, to me, they are. I would prefer 18 and up.
That would be an adult. So no. What is gender affirming care?
Gender affirming care could mean a lot of things, but
it can. You're right.
I mean, yeah, that's a pretty loaded question.
Well, I'm asking you because you seem to not like gender affirming care for minors. So why?
So let's gender affirming care. Would you like me to pull up the? I'm just gonna pull up the things because I feel this is a trap of some sort.
I'm not trying to trap you. I'm asking you if you know what gender affirming care is.
I mean, I know what it is.
Do you?
I just don't know the exact definition.
I'm not asking for an exact definition. You can give me an example.
Gender affirming care. All right. So, like, if I'm a kid who's questioning my sexuality or I want to be trans.
Your sexuality, that's attraction. That has nothing to do with your gender.
Oh, Man, okay. Well, whatever. Okay, gender affirming care is medical, mental health, and social support
Oh, okay.
for people whose gender identity differs from the sex, which I don't agree with.
That's
Right?
fine. You don't
But
have to
hey,
agree with it. You just have to
that's
leave.
not my cup of tea.
That's
Yeah,
cool. You just
that's
have to
not my
leave.
cup of
That's
tea.
cool, Randy. You just have to leave people the
Each
fuck
unto
alone.
his own.
But you read it in an,
Yeah,
you
to
read
each
it
his
in
own.
you read it in the definition, which is that social. So getting a haircut is gender affirming care. Congratulations, you also are a part of gender affirming care. Changing your name, wearing different kinds of clothes is all gender affirming care that everyone, regardless of whether they are cis or trans, participate in. Congratulations. So why would you want to ban that for children?
Okay, I mean, I don't like mental health, right? Gender affirming care, mental health for minors,
You
for
don't think
children. Do
minors
you
should
agree
get
with that?
you don't think minors should get mental health care?
For gender affirming mental health care?
What is
I mean, yeah,
what
you
is
know what?
gender
Actually, you're right.
affirming?
You're right. They should because LGBTQ and all these it's a mental illness. It has been linked to the correlation
Cite
with
that
mental
study.
illness. I
Cite
could
that
even
study.
pull it up right now.
Go
I
ahead.
was reading it yesterday.
Go
Hold
ahead.
on.
Cite it.
Okay, hold on.
Let's do it. I want to find out where my correlation of my mental illness for being pansexual came from. Let's go.
I knew there was something up with you.
Yeah.
This girl looks too good to be barking like this. In another world, we might have been married. But hold on. Give me one second.
No, you would have never had the opportunity, Randy. I'm so sorry.
Habibi, if you see me in person, you will fall in love. Give me one second.
I sure would not.
Mental illness and LGBTQ. Let's just say LGBTQ. I forget what the last letters are.
IA.
Okay,
plus.
so prevalence to anxiety, suicide, depression, mental illness, other problems, suicide risk.
No, what's the title of the study?
Oh, I don't have any. Okay, this is from National Institute Mental Health Service, something mental health. There's a couple of them.
Read the title of an article so that I can pull it up.
Man, I didn't know I was gonna. All right, give me one second, girl. Sheesh. I kind of like you telling me what to do, but all right.
Yeah, most of you do.
So I'm at the National Library of Medicine.
Yep, what's the title? Because the National Library of Medicine is a library of different pieces of information.
Okay. So, it's author of the manuscript. Okay, it's mental health service experiences regarding sexual orientation, relations with demographics, suicidality among queer adults. I could even send you the link, but somebody banned me in the chat for whatever reason. I think it was that guy Justin.
Let's see. Mental health service
There's some
experiences.
mobs in there that take their authority too seriously, by the way. I mean, I guess
They're
trying
allowed
to
to do
protect
that.
you and
Mental
all that,
health
but
services.
Lord have mercy.
Of course, my gifting.
Lord
does
have
this one.
mercy. Let a guy live.
Mental health services experiences regarding sexual orientation, relations with demographics, depression, and suicidality among queer adults. What does that have to do with children? Okay,
Did
queer.
you pull up that study? Were you able to find it?
Yep, I'm reading through it. Give me a second. Let's read
Queer
the
people
abstract.
experience higher rates of depression and suicidality.
And are more likely
and
to.
more likely.
I'm gonna read it because I think my voice just sounds better.
Oh,
And
okay.
are-
I'm sorry.
cool.
Okay. Yes.
and are more likely to seek and use mental health services compared to heterosexual people. Few studies have investigated how mental health services experiences regarding sexual orientation and satisfaction/dissatisfaction with these services may be related to demographic characteristics and mental health outcomes among queer people. A national sample of 500 queer adults, that's a small fucking sample size, in the United States have completed an online survey that measured demographic, it's a survey, it's not even a fucking study, demographic characteristics, depressive symptoms, suicidal outcomes, ideation, planning, and attempts, mental health service experiences about sexual orientation, and degree of helpfulness, unhelpfulness of these services. Results showed 39% of participants had talked with a mental health professional about their sexual orientation. Among those, 58% found the experience to be helpful to some degree, 24% found the experience to be unhelpful to some degree, and 18% found the experience neither helpful nor unhelpful. Regression results indicate that compared to individuals who had never talked with a mental health professional about their sexual orientation, those who had an unhelpful experience reported slightly higher levels of depressive symptoms, were nearly 3 times more likely to have seriously considered suicide, and were nearly 4 times more likely to have attempted suicide. Lack of education and training for mental health professionals about queer-specific issues, experiences, language, and affirmative practice may contribute to unhelpful experiences. Improvements in training, services, and policies are needed so that service use is helpful and not associated with elevated depression and suicidality. All you proved to me is that societally in general, and societally within our mental health system, the LGBTQ are not getting the mental health services that they require, and so they are having unhelpful experiences. You have not correlated to me. You have not correlated to me where being gay is caused by a mental illness. What you have shown to me is that people within the LGBTQ, people in the LGBTQ have a higher rate of these things because of society. People like you. Do you think it's going to be helpful to anybody on my stream, including myself? Mental health. Shut up. Do you think it's going to be? Do you think you obviously are not doing well for them either. Do you think it is going to be beneficial to anybody within the community, let alone myself, for you to come online and tell me I have a mental illness? Do you think that that's going to help?
I mean, I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose you.
Right. So the reason that the LGBTQIA plus within society, specifically in America, is going to have higher rates of depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation is going to be because we live in a society that tells us that something's wrong with us. Not because there is something wrong with us, but because you say it.
May I make no, not because I say it. Not because if I may make so basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
The mental illness caused them to be
which mental illness? Which mental illness?
Whatever.
Find me that study, because that's not what you found.
Underlying mental illness.
Which mental illness?
All of the above.
Prove that. Show me a study where all of the above, any kind of mental illness, causes people to be gay. Go ahead and show me that.
I have my own study I can show you.
Which is
I'm working on it myself. My thesis for college.
Your thesis for college. What are you studying in college?
Right now I'm just doing preliminaries, but I have the extra credit thing.
Your prerequisites?
Yeah, I was hit by a car 3 times while I was in school, so now I'm doing school now while I was
cool. So you're doing that's awesome. You're doing your prerequisites, your fucking math, English to get your goddamn credits. That's great. That's great. What is your plan? What is your plan for field of study?
I'm probably just gonna trap. I sell a lot of weed. By the way, if you want weed,
this is why I don't talk to you.
I got $5.
This is why I don't talk to you.
What are you talking about, girl?
This is why I don't talk to you.
Business. I'm telling you, business management, anything to do with business. Real estate, possibly.
So you're going to go into business. Okay. No, Randy, that's great. Good for you. You're going to go into business in way of college. You're going to go for a business degree. What the fuck does that have to do with correlating mental illness with the LGBTQIA?
I told you it's a extracurricular, extra credit.
You do not have the credentials to run such a survey or a study, so that means not shit to me. So can you please cite me a study where mental illness correlates to people being gay?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time? I was just getting some packages.
Cite me a study where a mental illness correlates to people being gay.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. W's to DJ Bookie for the $5 for Stop This Dumbass from Polluting the Airways. That's why I did a drop pool, but I'm just going to go with what we have now because fuck it. And also W's to Danielle for the 1066 for you don't get paid enough to have to talk to people like this guy. I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right, but I appreciate you. Holy crap. Every time. I mean, I'm glad he found a policy. His policy was bigotry, but, you know. W's to Danielle and W's to DJ Bookie. Wah! He's going to be on a ban list soon. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my bones. When I was 17, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, but I don't know if it was because at the time I thought I was bisexual. I'm now identifying myself as pansexual, but I don't know if it was that. Yeah, ban pool is definitely going to be next, Mia. I don't know if it was that or, and again, 17 I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. I don't know if it was the mental illness or if it was the fact that my dad had died. Maybe it was the fact that my dad died and we found his body in the bathroom and I saw as they worked CPR on him, though he was already gone. It could have been that, though. Maybe. Oh, by the way, I had anxiety and depression long before that, in middle school, before I even had that conversation. So maybe it was that.
Monty, if you don't get the fuck out of my face.
I'm just trying to find out where the mental illness came from. Damn. Just trying to like self-diagnose here a little bit.
I forgot why it came up. It's the trauma dump.
I love my dead dad trauma. It's just like a card. It's like a red card in soccer. You could just like pull it all the time. Just dead dad. Don't honk at me. My dad died. I need that bumper sticker. Like,
Oh gosh, I like to pull the like, oh, you're such a punk. You don't like fireworks. And I'm like, did your house get shot
right.
up?
Then shuts him up real quick. Oh,
Wait, what?
oh my god.
Okay, YouTube, what is going on? Thumbs up, dudes. Like you're over there. You're already using your thumbs. Go ahead and tap it twice. Lord.
Tap it.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. And then can I get W's to Scuba Steve for the $10? He said, glad to finally hear truth. I don't know. I hope that was good truth. I really hope it was good truth, Scuba Steve. I can tell you, Scuba Steve, I wipe my own ass. I do wipe my own ass. So I hope that that's the truth that I gave you, Scuba Steve. I'm so unserious. I need to be stopped. I need to be stopped. W's to Scuba Steve. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Guys, I appreciate all of your support, truly and deeply. It means everything to me. It's the only reason I can trauma dump the way I do. Levitt is live. I mean, she called Epstein a Washington hoax again yesterday. So that's great. All right, we're almost done with Blanche, and then I'll see what I can get to before we leave. Blanche says that he follows the president agenda. So we're done with his actual hearing. I just want us to remind everybody that since this vote is going to be happening, that this was Todd Blanche's priority. His priority was the president's agenda, even though that's not his job.
No, that's an assumption that baked into your question that I don't know that it's true. I mean, the point is that I don't operate every day trying to second guess what President Trump or anybody else is thinking. I just operate every day on doing everything that I need to do to execute the president's agenda and priorities. And no, that's an assumption that baked into your question that I don't know that it's true. I mean, the point is that I don't operate every day trying to second guess what President Trump or anybody else is thinking. I just operate every day on doing everything that I need to do to execute the president's agenda. And
that's not his job. That's not his job. His job is not to execute the president's agenda. No. No, his job is to execute the law and uphold the Constitution. Just to show you where his priorities are. Okay. Nope, different number. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
32, Louisiana, Donald Trump.
Okay, why are you still supporting Trump?
Because he's the greatest man that ever lived.
Based on what?
based on his everyday actions,
Like what?
like being alive and being the president,
And that's beneficial for the American people. How?
because it's a great example
Of what?
of how to live life.
Being decrepit and golfing? That's beneficial for the American people to see. How does that help us pay our bills or put gas in our tanks? How does it do that?
Well, I get up and go to work. That's how I pay my bills.
Uh-huh. And he's making that harder to do with inflation, with tariffs, and the war in Iran.
I would never lean on another man and expect him to do something for me.
No, his job is he works for us. His job is to do things that benefit the American people. So I expect him to do his job.
Well, you're a woman. You have a lot of unrealistic expectations.
It's unrealistic for me to force the president to do the job he's elected to do, which is to be beneficial for the American people and uphold the Constitution. That's unrealistic.
It's unrealistic to have expectations from somebody that doesn't even know you.
That's not the point. He's the president. His job is for the benefit of all American people, and he has to uphold the Constitution. He is not doing that.
Is that what they said on Indeed as the job description as the president?
I didn't know that Indeed hires presidents, so why would Indeed have a job description of the president?
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
What's the oath?
how do you know
that
the job
president-
description?
Because he takes an oath.
But how do you know what that is? What does that entail? Are you behind the scenes? Do you know what's going on?
Because it's, thank you, Ari, Article 6 of the Constitution
You've
and his oath
you've
that he
seen
takes.
every president and everything they do and what really goes on. You see, the problem is you think you know what's going on, and you have no clue. You just watch the news and you go along with the same little
No,
talking
I
points.
don't watch the news. I watch congressional. No,
baby
I watch
girl, you need
Sweetie
you need
Pie.
some
I watch
leadership.
You're how
Honey
old?
bun.
Baby
I'm
girl.
32.
I'm 35, bitch.
I don't care.
Okay, so then don't call me baby girl. I'm a grown woman. Hey, defend your man. Hey, defend your man without being a misogynistic asshole. Can you try that? Can you try that? Can you defend your man without being a misogynistic asshole? I expect the president to do his fucking job. I know. A woman has a louder voice than you. A woman has a more stern voice than you. I know that that's very intimidating, sweetheart. Get down, bend over, let me spank it. Listen, what I'm going to tell you is that I expect the president to do the job of the president. Okay? That's what the
Just say
fuck I expect
Iran
him to
one more time.
do.
Do you know how to say thank you in Iranian?
Iranian is not a language; it is Persian, and no, I do not know how to say thank you in Persian.
So you speak with this Iranian accent.
No, it's Persian. Iran is a Persian word, sweetheart.
You don't, right? I know the PC
Oh,
and
thank you, Chicky.
whatever, everything
Shukran.
with you, but I'm just saying, like, you say it like that, but you don't even know how to say thank you. You know, whatever Persian, Iranian.
I just
It's
learned
like
from a friend
French
because
Arabic.
I have intelligent friends, and my friend Chicky told me it
So
is
now
shukran.
you speak with an accent. Imagine the psychology of that. Like,
How do you say
you're not
tortilla?
from there.
Do you eat tortillas? Do you eat tacos?
No, I've never.
You don't eat
I'm
tacos?
Italian. No, I don't actually. I mean, I just say crawfish actually.
You're
You know what
you're
that is?
Italian?
I'm Italian and Cajun. I'm a Rob Coon ass. You know what that is?
No.
My shit goes way, way back, early 1700s in Louisiana. You heard me? So,
Why
so
would you
you
have to
saying
repeat
it's
your
Iranian and shit? Like nobody cares. Like
Okay.
you need to find peace, baby girl.
I have peace. I have peace
No,
in
you
knowing.
don't. You
I do.
angry. You angry at somebody that doesn't even know you exist.
No.
Imagine
I'm
the
just keeping
psychology
him.
of
No, I'm just making sure that he's doing his job. That's all that I'm doing.
But how? But how? What you think?
How?
Donald
By
Trump's worried about
critiquing him and asking people to critique their stances and their support of him.
Because if people listen to you and the thing you're trying to push, you would have people going crazy. But according to you, the world should have been blowing up from Donald Trump 8 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand that?
8 years ago.
I'm just saying, you people has been obsessed with Trump for the last 10 years. What is that doing to y'all's mental health? Like, that's not a healthy way of living, being obsessed with somebody that you don't like.
I'm not obsessed with him. He's the president. I do not understand why you guys cry about the fact that we tell the president to do your fucking job. I don't know why that makes
But
you guys
why
so
do you
angry.
expect people to think like you? and
don't.
agree with you.
I don't.
I mean,
You didn't have to
you're
call in. You
obviously
could have kept
not
scrolling
winning.
your life
You're
away and
not
lived your
winning,
life. It
though.
sounds like you're the one who's not living with peace because I'm perfectly
You're
happy
not winning.
doing what I'm
But you
doing.
could do all that. You could do all that. But I'm just saying, like your mental, babe, it's not there.
My mental
It's
health
not
is just
right.
fine.
Like,
I
you
take breaks when
say
I just
that,
got back
only
from a
you would
week-long
know that.
vacation in San Diego. I'm fine.
Only you would know that.
I
So you
just
could
got
say
back
all
from
that
a
and do the
week-long
projection,
vacation in San Diego. I am fine.
but where do you get your identity from? Let me ask you that. Where do you get your identity from?
From the things that I believe and the people around that I surround myself with.
Because according to the Bible, you get your identity from your father.
Oh, well, he's dead, so.
But this doesn't mean you don't get your identity from him.
Cool. My dad was a progressive.
So maybe
Who
you
taught
should
me to
look
love
into that.
people.
That don't matter. Fuck all that. But it's
I
about
thought you
the
just
way
told
he
me my
treated
identity
people.
came from my dad.
But I'm just saying,
Oh,
you
I
gotta
was going
look.
to tell you about my
you looking at
dad.
the you looking at the intangibles. You're looking at the things that don't matter. What I'm trying to tell you is you
I was
need to
looking at
find
the
your
things
spirit.
you told me to look at. You said the identity of my father is my identity, so I went and told you about my father, and you said that doesn't matter.
Yeah, because you just said he was a progressive. That was his political view, right?
Yeah,
What
and
the-
he
what the
and he
fuck
ta-
does that
and you
have to
didn't,
do with
but you
that?
didn't stop. You didn't stop. You started talking. I wasn't done. I said he was a progressive who
Okay.
taught me to love all people and to do things in the betterment of humanity.
Okay, and just trying to sit here and belittle Trump supporters and act like they're fucking stupid
No.
because they like Trump.
No,
That's
I'm
what you do?
asking them to prove the things that they believe with factually based evidence because they tend to believe a lot of things about Trump in their support of him without actual factual basis.
Who's
It's a lot
facts?
of feelings.
Who's facts? What facts?
The facts, objective
Just 'cause
facts,
somebody
Kellyanne
likes
Conway.
Trump, they're a bad guy.
Not necessarily. Most likely,
But
though.
you don't-
It's
but-
usually
but
isms or
obviously-
phobias. It's usually some sort of bigotry involved in their support of him, yes.
But you come up with these words and these things,
I came up with
misogynist and all these words, and it's like
Because
you're
why
not-
would you
you're
speak
not
to me?
winning.
Because if you could speak to me in a way that was civil with factually based information, you would not need to call me honey or baby girl. You wouldn't need to condescend to me
Why
based
does
off
that
of my shut
matter?
up. See what you're doing? You're over talking me now. You would not need to use condescending names towards me that are specific to my gender if you could actually
is it
debate your
condescending?
support for Trump.
I just did. You asked me a million questions about one thing.
I ask
about
you
I
why you're
support
still
Trump.
supporting Trump.
Because I like him. I think he's.
That
I
is
like the art of
vibes
the
and
deal.
feelings. I don't care. That's not anything he is doing that's beneficial for the American people. You can write about that in your diary later. I do not care.
Well, you just asked me a question and now you don't care. Anyway.
I just don't care about your feelings. Anyways, Jesus. W's to Steph for the $16 completing out the goal. Steph, you said, I finished the goal. Pretty please make the disrespectful man go away. Your wish is my command. Thank you so much. Also, W's to, is it Umi? I apologize if I said that incorrectly. W's to Umi for the dollar train. Choo choo for eat him up. I think I did. But I think he kind of liked it. They all kind of like it. They're sick. They're sick individuals. I'm just kidding. I don't kink shame. I just kink ask why, but my kink is kink shaming. So there's also that. And W's. Let me make sure there's not a name in there that I'm missing. W's to Alex for the 16 as well. You said for the goal. You were completing out the goal as well. So W's to Steph, to Umi, and to Alex. Thank you guys so much for completing out my goal today. I appreciate it. You guys are fucking wonderful. What is wrong with men? Does anybody tell me? I'm just kidding. It's a rhetorical question. It ends with a giant period of what is wrong with them. If you could defend Donald Trump based off of factually based information and policies, you would not need to condescend to me based upon my gender. That's all I'm saying. And it's cute that you did so because I'm 3 years older than you. Like, what? Thank you so much for the jewels. I appreciate you. Why are men? Yeah, why are men? I say, as a married woman, I just want you to know. If you were calling to tell me you like him because he's a cool guy and he plays golf, I don't care about that. I don't care. Defend his policies with facts. What is he doing that's good for the people? You can't tell me. Is it Kazu or Kaizu? I apologize. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. You said Trump supporters are dumb because they support Trump. Yes, that's an easy conclusion to arrive at. Yes, this is true. Because what is there to support at this point? What is there to support at this point? They thought it was a 900 number. Fucking, I am not Cleo. Do not call me now. Don't do it. I'm not Cleo. Okay, I am going to get to this. This is an Epstein survivor on yesterday on Todd Blanche's nomination.
Mr. Blanche said he would meet with survivors. Well, we are here in Washington, D.C., and we are ready to meet. Today, you were quoted saying and asked if you were Donald Trump's friend. You responded and misspoke, "I'm his lawyer." Hear this now from the people whose lives you would be sworn to protect. You are the American people's lawyer. The Attorney General must be someone who's committed to victims and to the rule of law is unmistakable. Confirming Mr. Blanche now would further erode the fragile trust survivors have in a system meant to protect us. We therefore call on the Senate Judiciary Committee and every senator who values justice.
Junior Hayes, you said he's bringing trillions of dollars of investments into America. Source, please. Because he keeps saying that. You guys keep saying that. This is what I said I was going to do. Great. I'm glad you're backing policy. Source.
Justice to vote against confirming Todd Blanche as the Attorney General. We have carried this trauma for far too long. We will not bear this additional burden of a Justice Department that fails to protect survivors. This is not political rhetoric. It is a plea for basic decency and for a justice system that listens to its most vulnerable. To every senator, and especially Tillis and Cornyn preparing to vote, listen to us. Please listen to us. Do not let the interest of wealthy and powerful stand between survivors and the justice that we are all owed. We will keep speaking, we will keep organizing and holding accountable anyone who stands in the way of truth. Today, we ask you to do your part.
And then I have a couple more clips from them. This is Danny Bensky, whose name was released. She did not want her name released, but because of the piss poor job of a release that they did with the Epstein files, her name was not redacted.
His actions have destroyed survivors' trust. According to public reporting, Mr. Blanche spent approximately 9 hours meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell. He did not even spend 9 minutes meeting with a survivor. Afterward,
he has not spoken to survivors at all. But he spent 9 hours talking to Ghislaine Maxwell, who was not only convicted of trafficking girls for Jeffrey Epstein, but also harmed children herself.
Maxwell was transferred to what many have described as a summer camp prison. We learned all of this through the news. Imagine what that feels like as a survivor to sit there if you were exploited by Ghislaine Maxwell and you're hearing this for the first time with no explanation, no outreach, and no transparency from your government. And to add...
Who just did that? Somebody said, what was Biden's approval rating?
What about Biden?
I don't know. I don't care. He's gone. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Hello, New York, Tabitha, and 27.
Who'd you vote for?
I voted for Trump, unfortunately.
Do you regret that decision?
Most definitely do, at this point.
What changed your mind on that?
When he lied and the big, beautiful bill was the final straw. He lied about everything he ran on this term.
I mean, it's true.
He
He
did
did.
not do a damn thing.
What had you calling in today?
I was just listening in, and I thought you made some really good points, and I was listening to that guy before you hung up on him, and what a total douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only they could just have civil conversations, it would be nice.
I know, right? Like you and I are having right now. It's just, respect one another.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? This is Randy.
Oh.
See, we can have a respectful conversation.
Yeah, if you act like a normal
person,
person, Randy. But
once
again,
you
you
hear
said
Randy,
that
you get upset.
you said I have a mental illness, and you said you
I
can
never
court.
did. I didn't even know what you want. I see you as a woman. You said you had anxiety. That's why I'm calling back, actually. You said you had anxiety. You were diagnosed.
Randy, one more time because of the fact. Randy, you got kicked for today. So I'm just gonna ask you this question and then you gotta go.
Kick me forever.
We probably will tomorrow. That's probably what we're gonna do. Guys, $50 to ban Randy.
Do it today. Yeah. There you can see I'm making you money, girl. We can
Cool.
work this
Cool.
together
But yeah,
and
once
give
you're
me
banned,
10%.
you're banned. Randy, oh my God, you said that people who are part of the LGBTQIA+ have a mental illness that caused them to be gay.
Possibly. Yeah.
That's not what you said. That's not what the fuck you said. Why are you lying? Randy, get it together. Yeah, that's why, by the way, that's exactly why, who was it? Trademark was like 27, because that voice did not sound 27. Clip which part of it, Mia, because like that whole thing was a mess.
Add insult to injury, the information that Todd Blanche gathered in the White House Situation Room last summer to curb the political fallout from the Epstein files was absolutely abhorrent. Instead of following investigative leads, our government treated and continued to treat this as a political crisis that needs to be managed.
No demented fake laughing. That wasn't fake. That's weird. I'm sorry. Do you have a man calling you and faking being somebody else before he reveals who he really is? And he's called me 3 days in a row? Did you have that happen to you? Okay.
In our nation, everyone deserves equal protection under the law. Todd Blanche.
I was counseling because he was literally, hold up, wait. Better?
Yeah.
Okay. The fucking PTSD that just gave me, because as someone who has had experience with guys pretending that they were nice and then turn out to be a stalker. Yeah. No. This is why it's all men.
Mhm.
Fucking disgusting.
He was even in the chat like, I'll respect your consent.
Yeah.
Obviously not.
But no, men are gonna be like, no, you guys never fall for it. Men don't do that.
No,
Fucking
women
hell.
lie. Women lie all the time.
I'm like shaking.
I'm sorry.
Love y'all.
I love you, Chickie.
Good job.
By the way, we have oh, I thought I pressed it. I didn't. Now I did. Can I get W's to nuclear for the $10? He said, please add to the ban pool for that bigot Randy. I absolutely will. So we're going to do 10 out of 50 to ban Randy. And you know what? What we're going to do, we will finish this today. And I'll be behind on my outline, but I don't care. We're going to do a new text. New one. Ban pool. 10 out of 50. And we're going to put underneath it, because it's specifically for fucking Randy. And then we're going to go down here. Make sure everybody can see it. Like, jeez. Oh no, I forgot I have my block there. Hold on. Yeah. I want you to be lined up right where I need you. Right there is fine. Perfect. We'll just put it there now. Because why? I do have to put it underneath my... Where is it? Where's my damn... Oh, it's over there. Sorry, I have to get it under the political sources, though, or else I won't be able to see what we're looking at. Okay. God.
Has been unwilling to protect Epstein survivors' personal information. And he has been resistant to investigate the people who helped Epstein and Maxwell commit those crimes. We need an attorney general committed to ensuring that everyone who facilitated Epstein's crimes is held accountable. Please, I implore you, please.
She does not want him to be affirmed, and I agree. She probably shouldn't want him to be affirmed. Greg Thomas, you said it's funny you claim voting BS, because that's the word I have to use for TikTok, isn't a thing when the facts say otherwise. I have never never said that there's no BS in voting. I've never said that on this platform. Again, you guys are arguing with people that don't exist or people that are saying things that I haven't said. Okay? Okay. Last Epstein survivor on Blanche, and I can try to get to one more segment before we move on today. W's to Oh Me Oh My for the $5. You said if she likes horror movies, Obsession was fucking great, basically about nice guys. That's absolutely true. Oh Me Oh My, do you want that added to the ban pool? Because I absolutely can. And W's to Juicy Juice for the $5 for to ban Randy. So that one's definitely going in. And if Oh Me Oh My, if you want that one added, I can add that one as well into the ban pool for Randy. But we are going to watch this Survivor real quick, and then we can move on from Todd Blanche, hopefully.
My name is Charlene Rochard.
Sure, why not? Gotcha.
And I'm here today not just as an Epstein survivor, but as a mother, a legislative advocate, and a woman who is advocating for justice that should have never been delayed and mishandled. And that is why I'm asking the United States Senate to oppose the nomination of Todd Blanche as Attorney General. Under Todd Blanche's leadership as acting Deputy Attorney General, trust was broken when my identity was exposed. Former Attorney General Pam Bondi publicly stated that Todd Blanche oversaw the DOJ's work on the Epstein files. That wasn't a simple mistake. That was a failure that put me and other survivors at risk. I believe I'm speaking for all survivors here. We are deeply frustrated. And I feel that frustration boiling over personally as I consider the fact that Todd Blanche chose to hold private, high-level meetings with associates of Ghislaine Maxwell, meetings that happened quietly and behind closed doors. That is not how justice should be handled. To us, that feels like a personal insult. It feels like betrayal.
This man has not met with these survivors. Yesterday, by the way, I didn't get those clips and I probably should have, but yesterday he was claiming that he can't, as long as they have lawyers, he can't meet with them. I have not found, nobody else is able to find anywhere where Todd Blanche is not allowed to meet with them simply because they have representation. I'm definitely not seeing where that's happening. So, God. W's to Subu34, Subu34 for creepiest shit ever. Thank you for the $2. He said, creepiest shit ever. I'm stuck between manic laughing and wanting to vomit. Love your show. You rock. W's to, I'm also going to add that to the ban pool. We're going to put that in there too. We're just going to add that, Subu. Thank you for the $2 train. Choo choo. Thank you. The only thing I'll say is like, listen, it's fucking creepy, and I'm not gonna lie, it's fucking terrifying. As a woman, as a mother of 2 children, it's terrifying how women get treated on the internet, on any application, especially in a political space. Meant to add that too, got you. It is. It's fucking terrifying. I will take that heat if it means showing you a little bit of what we deal with. Not only do we not get the same kind of audience support, monetary support, even though we do the same work, if not better, okay? Not only that, but we also get the kinds of threats and violations of consent that we get every single day. Every single day. That just don't happen in the same way on a man's panel. It just doesn't. W's to Aussie, thank you so much for the, as my husband calls it, bluey dollar bucks. Thank you for the $10 donation. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. W's to you guys. Cormo, I'm so sorry that your fingers are worn out, but you did so good for me, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for getting 200,000 likes over here on TikTok. Thank you guys for pushing through. I knew we could do it. I knew it. I knew we could. Thank you guys so much for that. Thank you. Woke problems. It's woke to be a woman. It kind of is woke to be a woman. Yeah, and we got no dirty talk. I'm not gonna lie, DJ. I think I will for Friday. I can give you dirty talk tomorrow. after the interactions I've had with men today, I don't feel like it, which I know you'll understand. And by the way, I started reading the book. It is heavy. It's a heavy read so far, but it's good. It's good. I like their style of journalism and the way that they write. So it's an interesting book so far. I definitely am going to put like all sorts of little tabs in there. I'm so excited for all my annotations. And then maybe I can even have like a special weekend stream one day where we just go over what I read. So absolutely. You don't blame me. Thanks. I appreciate that. W's to Justin for the $3 for the ban pool. He's already permanently gone from YouTube chat. Love that. Which he was very mad about what my chat or what my mods do over there. I give them free reign, and I give them free reign for a reason, because I trust them implicitly to handle what happens over there on YouTube. I just do. Okay. Let me see what I want to try to get to real quick. I can run through some things, I think. So let's go to festivals again. I have a few videos real quick on that. JD Vance was asked specifically about this fucking speech that's supposed to be happening today, that they are allegedly, like, now we're getting rumors that he's supposed to be attacking China for interfering with our festivals in 2020. Again, I doubt we're going to have actual fucking proof of that. It's just going to be more shit that he's been repeating for 6 years. So there is that. We will see. But they asked JD Vance about that. I might, excuse me, I might stream it. We'll see. Maybe. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Yeah, Jake, 31, Trump.
Okay, why are you still supporting Trump?
I'm supporting Trump because I feel like the Democratic Party has no common sense, and until they do get common sense, I feel like Trump is like the only alternative that actually is reasonable.
No, do you still support his policies now, or that's just why you voted for him?
Yeah, I mean, I support him because I feel like he has common sense.
Like what?
Well, one, his stance on immigration. I think that there's a lot of things that is going on that, like, it's almost controversial to deport someone, and I don't think that it should be controversial to deport someone, especially when you have someone like Tim Walz, who was running for vice president alongside Kamala. And he literally gave clemency to a child molester who molested multiple children.
So I keep hearing about this. I actually I would love to look that up with you. So Tim Walz clemency, do you know the name of the person that he gave clemency to?
No, I just know that I think it was from Vietnam.
So they were an illegal immigrant or an undocumented immigrant? Just so I know kind of how to Google this.
I believe he might have been here, like, legally at some point, but then because of the child molestation felonies, that triggered an automatic...
What I'm hearing is that he gave the clemency in order to allow quicker deportation. But I could be incorrect. Hold on, I know that you can't hear him, but give me just 1 second so my friend can give me information I might not have. Hi, Manny.
Yes, you're correct. So what they did is the immigrant was here legally when he was arrested and convicted. He took a plea deal, so his deportation could actually go through. The plea deal was not because the plea deal doesn't protect you from deportation. After which. I believe there's some issue with trying to deport him because, as I've stated multiple times, not every country will accept deportees.
Right.
In the law, in the social aspect, he became a citizen, however you want to define that. He has, I think, 2 or 3 children. He's married. He's back into society. I don't know the terminology, but
rehabilitate or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not, again, whatever happened, whatever reason why he couldn't be deported. Reintegrated, back into society. So, but again, it wasn't clemency. It wasn't clemency to like say, oh, his crime never happened. He took a plea deal. He took a plea deal.
Okay, let me see if I can get this New York Times article off on a paywall, and then I can talk to him about it. Yeah. Yeah, so what it's looking like is he was convicted in 2006, took some sort of plea deal. I don't know what the issue was with him being released from custody, because he did have an order of removal in 2006. But he was released from ICE custody. But the panel, so not Tim Walz himself, but the pardon panel, there was a review. They granted him clemency, and then he was able to be deported. So I'm trying to find, let's see. Okay.
Yep, I got the letter right here. It says the Minnesota Board of Pardons
right here.
has voted to grant your pardon at its meeting on June 10th, 2026. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah, pardon doesn't absolve you of the crime.
Right. A pardon didn't absolve him of his crime. It's just that congratulations, you received a pardon. Is the wording terrible? Sure, we could change that within the pardon review process. But the Department of Homeland Security said on Friday that it had deported an immigrant just weeks after he received a pardon from Minnesota state officials for a 2005 conviction for sexually abusing a child. The pardon last month from Minnesota's Pardon Board, which includes the Democratic Governor Tim Walz, effectively erased the criminal record of the man. I don't see where that would be the case, because he was convicted. Had come to the United States legally as a child, but because of his conviction, he lost permanent residency status and issued a final removal order. Before his pardon, Mr. Vang had been facing imminent deportation to Laos. Pardons, however, do not automatically safeguard against deportation. They wouldn't be protecting him from that. It is unclear where Mr. Vang was sent or on what specific legal grounds he was deported. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said in a video posted on X, Mr. Vang had been removed from the United States and that because of our actions, this foreign criminal will never pose a threat to any American ever again. Mr. Vang and his family could not immediately be reached for comment. Mr. Vang was around 18 when he first began abusing his victim, who was then 10. After his arrest in 2005, he blamed cultural norms in Thailand. That's a horrible excuse. According to the criminal complaint, he later pleaded guilty to first-degree criminal sexual conduct in a plea deal that spared him from serving time in prison. He was ordered deported in 2006, but Laos had for many years refused to accept large number of deportees, so Laos was not accepting him.
I was like trying to figure out. I was like, I know it's one of those countries. I just couldn't remember. I was like, it's not Vietnam. No, it's Laos. Laos literally had only started
Pretty
accepting.
shitty situation overall.
I agree.
Laos only started accepting deportees
And I just
this
think
year
that,
because of the way
like,
that
it sets
immigrants
a very
are being
unhealthy
treated.
precedent. I think that there should be outrage on both sides of the aisle. Hey, Tim Walz, why did you do this?
That wasn't
You
Tim
know?
Walz, though. It was the
Well,
pardon
he could have put
panel
it.
review.
But I'm sure that the governor can put his foot down to stuff like this as well.
I'm sure he
Like,
can
I'm
veto it, and then it probably works very similar to everything else, which is that the panel can override his veto. But
Right.
I would admonish that decision. But the issue is going to be again an issue within our Department of Homeland Security system. This would have been in the 2000s would have been Bush Jr. having an issue with the fact that Laos would not take him, so he was allowed to just get married, have kids, build a life here, because the Department of Homeland Security just let him do so. I don't agree with that. You can admonish both sides on that. I don't see what that has to do with Donald Trump, who has pardoned violent criminals as well, and chose not to release the Epstein files, where we know people harm children as well. So if you're going to have the smoke, which you should have for this situation, do you have it for other situations that involve Donald Trump?
I think that the issue is, you're focusing a lot on Donald Trump, but you're not focusing a lot on what other people.
You said you support Donald Trump
Yes,
because of his common sense and way of
Ye-
immigration, and used
yes,
this as
I
the
su-
example.
I support him because he has common sense, because a lot of people in the Democratic Party are now talking that, like, for example, you have that news, let's face it, she's going to win because every Democrat wins in New York City. I can't remember her name. I know that she's African American and she has a PhD in something, but I was watching her give an interview, and in the interview, she says deportation is always wrong.
Sure, I know you're talking about Claudia. That's her belief, yeah.
And then they asked her, well, what about in the case of a murderer? And then she goes, let me reiterate again, deportation is always wrong. And I'm like, so wait, so let's substitute deportation with a child molester. And
No,
you're
you
gonna
can't do that, because that would be a different word. But they didn't ask her that question, did they?
but she literally made it clear though, saying all we's wrong. She literally said there is no case.
You don't have to agree with her.
But yet these are these are people that are going into the United States Senate who are representing the Democratic Party.
Win her race.
I mean, she's gonna win. Let's face it, 99% chance she wins.
Daria Liza. Let's see.
Who?
Daria Liza Avila Chevalier.
Of what state?
It's New York. She's running for New York
So-
Senate seat.
So I think that's just very, very dangerous
Sure,
precedent.
you don't have to like her. Guess what? Don't vote for her then.
But
does she
aren't you
represent?
aren't you
no.
concerned?
Does she? No, I'm not, because she does not represent a majority of the people who are currently in Congress making legislation right now. No. So no, I'm not concerned about that. That that's going to go anywhere? No, that's not going anywhere.
Well, I mean, considering that the state of the Pardon Board of Minnesota saw fit to pardon a child molester, I mean, clearly there's some sympathy going on.
That's not sympathy.
But
for
did you tell him about the
for-
support from the victim?
There is the
No, I
sense.
didn't.
You have to admit
Did
that
you
there
know
is
that
a
the
sentiment.
victim asked for clemency for him?
Okay, so what does that have to do with anything?
Oh, so we don't trust the words of victims anymore?
No, it should be it should be the job of the governor to prevent further victims. And so I would,
He was
if
already
I
out
were
on
governor,
the street. He was already out on the street. How does pardoning his convicted crime? He took a plea deal which allowed him to not serve prison time. So he was already out on the streets, available to do further harm. How does this pardon affect that?
because the pardon was in an effect, and it was an attempt to prevent the deportation.
No, it wasn't.
Because they were using the deportation.
Prove that to me. No, prove that to me that the pardon was an attempt to keep him from being deported.
Yeah,
It
pardons
was.
can't restore
Literally,
statuses.
that's why the victims asked
Pardons-
for clemency.
No.
The victims
you
asked
didn't
for
even
clemency.
You didn't even know that the victim asked
No, I
for
was
clemency, and
no,
now
I
you're going
was
to use it.
I was 100% aware that they asked for clemency. I just think that it's null and void. I don't give a shit if the victim asked for clemency.
The pardon power at a state level, well, even at a federal level, the pardon power does not reinstate any kind of immigration status. So that would be pointless because that would not work. So that was not the goal of that pardon.
Okay, well, I mean, it's still
Unless
very
you can
concerning.
prove to me that it was.
Because a pardon cannot
Well,
remove
like I
someone's
said, I think that
conviction,
the Democratic
it can't
Party has
prevent-
lost
it can't
its
give them back
base with the American people. I think
No,
that
it
most
hasn't.
most Americans
You're
support
citing
deportation.
really extreme examples of things. Like I said, if you want to admonish that decision from the panel board, you can. I have no problem
How can
doing
you
that.
say? How can you say? See, this is the problem with with people on the left. They pretend. Oh, this is very extreme. This was
It
the
is.
man who was running for vice president
I didn't
2
say
years
no,
ago.
No.
So how
This
can you say that this is
no.
this is a minute problem? This is
It
a
is.
fringe. This is a
It
fringe
is.
problem. This was
It
a
is.
This was a mainstream
Can you give me another example?
politician.
Can you give me another example where this has happened?
Yeah, matter of fact, actually, in New York, in New York City, in a
I thought we meant
bodega,
Tim Walz. Okay.
in New York City, in a bodega, a 14-year-old kid, a boy, was raped and molested in a bodega, and he ran out crying for help because he was sexually assaulted. So they arrested the assaulter, who was a transsexual from
That's not a word
Colombia.
we use.
I mean, is that not
No,
that's
that would be
the
a
proper term, right?
No, they would be transgender.
Okay, well, transgender. It was a transgender from Colombia, and that person from Colombia had previous offenses in Minnesota, and they released them on bond for very violent crimes, and they fled, and then they moved over to New York City, and then they re-victimized in New York City.
Sure, that's
and they
bad. But here's my thing. I could whataboutism and say that this happens on the right. That's bad. We obviously need to fix. You're telling me as a woman that our judicial system is very, very bad at believing victims and getting the right kind of sentences of time served for victims. I'm not shocked by that, and I have advocated for that system to be changed and to be harsher. I'm with you. Now, do you feel the same way about the kind of people Donald Trump hangs out with and the kind of people he pardons?
Yeah, I don't think that anybody should. I don't
don't
think
bring it
that
up
we
in
should
regards
allow
to the
the.
left.
I don't think we should have any pardon system. I think
agree.
that if you're convicted, and you need to serve your time.
I agree.
I
So
think-
then don't sit here.
I think
Then
that
don't
the
sit here and
pardons-
say it's an issue with the left.
I mean, it is an issue with the left, though, in terms of I'm talking about.
Do you remember Donald
Immigration.
Trump's? Do you remember
I'm
Donald
not-
Trump's?
I'm not
do you
talking
remember
about
Donald
the-
Trump's? Do you remember Donald Trump's pastor?
No, I don't know who his pastor is. I know that she's like some radical. I know that.
No, that's his new one.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember who Robert Morris was?
Nope.
Okay. Robert Morris, a former Texas megachurch pastor and spiritual advisor to Donald Trump, pled guilty to 5 felony counts of lewd or indecent acts with a child rather than child rape. So he got a deal on that. Instead of being charged with rape, he pled guilty to lewd or indecent acts. He received a 10-year suspended sentence, a negotiated plea deal requiring to serve 6 months in county jail. He is free now. What do you feel about that?
I think that's disgusting.
Okay, cool. So it happens on the right as well. Our judicial system obviously has an issue with the way that it handles people who harm children and people who harm women.
Yeah.
'Kay.
So I just what I just want to understand, though, like I said, I just can't wrap my mind around it, is because like all these sanctuary
He doesn't
city
have a
policies
mind.
that are going on.
The
Why is
person
it
that he
controversial
mentioned-
that if an illegal immigrant commits a crime, they should be deported? Why is that controversial?
It's not.
'Cause the pers-
Nobody's
'cause the
fighting, but
person-
actually nobody's fighting against that. Nobody's fighting against an immigrant who commits a crime being deported. Nobody's fighting against that.
yes, they
What
are.
is a sanctuary city? What is a sanctuary city policy? What does that mean?
That they don't comply with ICE, that they don't give the information over to ICE. That, hey, we have a guy that committed a criminal a crime here. They're releasing them instead of handing them over.
And why
ICE
do they
puts
do
it
that?
to- because they're a sanctuary city, and the
No,
government's saying
that
that
was
you
a circle
cannot.
argument. No, the reason they don't do things like that is then because you have people who may be undocumented immigrants in said city who dealt with domestic violence and wanted to turn in their boyfriend for domestic violence. And ICE thinks that you should be able to give them that information on that undocumented victim. And sanctuary cities say, absolutely the fuck not, we're not doing that.
Can you cite that for me? I mean, you're
That-
just kind
that's
of
one
just
of the
saying that. So
reasons.
I need you to have. Well, I need
That's
you to.
one of the reasons.
I need. Okay, well, pull up evidence for it to substantiate your claim, because that's a very bold claim. Because what I do know is that people who get arrested for a DUI are being released, even though they're illegal. People who are
How the fuck do you give a fuck
abusing.
about a DUI?
Who gives a fuck about a DUI? I
ICE
care
can
about
go
a
get them. Then have ICE go get them. What it does
Yeah.
is it keeps local law enforcement from spending their local tax money
Yeah.
and resources to hold them for ICE past the
Well,
point they're not legally.
I
No,
care.
hold on. Past
I
the
care
point.
about it
Shut
because
up.
I have a
Past the
cousin who was
point. I don't
killed
care.
by a
I don't
DUI
care. I don't
driver.
care. Past
Oh,
the
so
point.
you don't care.
Past the
So
point.
you
No,
don't
I
care that
don't.
my
No,
cousin
I
was
don't.
killed?
No,
Okay.
I don't. No, I don't.
Okay.
Past the
Okay.
point. Past the
Yeah.
point where they're legally allowed to. Through due process, there's
Mhm.
only a certain amount of time you are allowed to hold these people if they get bond. Okay? So they are not allowed to hold them past that point so that ICE can take however fucking long they want to get there. That's why.
But then you bitch and complain when
bitch and
ICE
complain
picks
all
them
the
up on the street.
I bitch and complain because they don't know who they're picking up. Is that a targeted operation?
Yeah. So
The last two targeted
but the problem
operations.
is you
Right.
you
Right.
you
The
literally
last
you
two
literally
actually-
say
no,
ICE
no,
could go
hold
pick
on,
them
I
up
know.
on the
Hold
streets,
on.
but then when
No,
they
no,
pick
no.
them up on the streets, you complain.
They're not picking up
and you,
the people
and you,
that they're supposed to be picking up. The last two targeted operations that ICE just did resulted in 2 people that they weren't targeting being fucking killed. So no, I don't agree with ICE just randomly rounding up people and shooting into vehicles and killing innocent people. No, I don't agree with that.
Well, so don't you think then? Don't you
Don't
think
you
then
think?
that
That's all we guys
if it's
have.
so
Don't you think?
if it's so dangerous, don't you think that the state government should say, in order to protect the entire public as a general, we will just hand over this criminal to ICE instead of rather releasing him onto the street, so that
60%
doesn't
of
happen? I mean, I'm just saying they're
No.
prioritizing the safety
Right.
of a criminal
They don't have
than anybody else.
No, because we have even seen that with the detainment of the people that they have. Over 60% do not have criminal convictions of any kind. So
Wait,
no.
Money.
Well,
Money. I was gonna say
40% do
I'm
though.
gonna put him on hold. Go ahead.
I was going to tell you, 60% of the people that they have detained from Minnesota during the Metro Surge stuff were from Minnesota's jail houses. they weren't from picking up off the streets. 60% were from their jailhouses. So the idea that they're not going into jails and picking them up from blue states is wrong.
So, got some new information. Got some new information.
Okay.
And they are picking these people up from jails. Well, didn't we would have known that already anyway, because then you have the man in Minnesota that they illegally violated his Fourth Amendment right for illegal search and seizure and brought him out in his underwear in negative whatever degree weather, saying it was a very certain man with a criminal record that they were going after. Come to find out they already had that man in detention in a jail and were very readily available to go get him, and they didn't. So apparently ICE is not doing the job that they said that they should be doing.
So I think that that you're very, very deceptive. I think that you're a big liar. I think that.
What did I lie about?
I think that a lot of the Democratic Party believes that no deportation should ever happen. I think that
now you're doing this thing where you guys argue with a cardboard cutout of a Democrat. One, I'm a registered independent, and two, I've never said that.
You don't sound like an independent. So I mean,
what
that's
does an
fine.
independent sound like? Because that's just registering for your
Bernie
party.
Sanders is an independent. Remember that, but
so is Angus King. So is Kirsten
but he's
Sinema.
never sided with the GOP. So I would argue. I would 100% argue that he's not. He's a Democrat.
You don't know what an independent
using the independent.
is. You don't know what an independent is. You are confusing.
Yeah, an independent. An independent.
Why are you
kind
yelling?
Because you started yelling at me first.
No, you have been
You told
yelling
me
this
that
whole
you
time,
didn't-
which is why
you
I
didn't
have to
care that
yell.
my cousin was killed by somebody
give a
who
fuck.
was
I
drunk
don't
driving.
fucking care. No, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care. Was it an illegal
you're a fucking
immigrant?
cunt.
Sure.
You're a fucking cunt.
Sure. Was it
All right?
an illegal immigrant that killed him?
No, it was a regular. It was a regular
so
person.
obviously we have an issue with drinking and driving in this country. I would
Yeah.
agree we should probably get that
So
handled.
don't you think?
So
don't
use
you
your
think
cousin.
that if an
Don't
illegal
use your
immigrant
dead
is drinking
cousin.
and driving,
so don't use
that
your
that
dead
puts
cousin.
people?
So don't use your dead
Yeah.
cousin. No, because if you came on and said you wanted reform in way of how we handle DUIs in this country, I would be right there with you. But you specifically use it to target one demographic of the population who we know commit 60% less crime per capita than U.S. citizens do. So that's where I have an issue. I don't use your anecdotal story for that.
Well,
unless
we
you
have
wanted
to
it
put
for
up.
general
We have to
reform.
put up with American citizens. We don't have to put up with illegals.
Do we?
Yes.
Not necessarily. And what proves
we
that
can't-
they're illegal? That's the biggest problem you guys have, is not understanding that. What proves that they're here illegally?
Well, the fact that they don't have documentation.
And how do we prove that?
So, matter of fact, actually, there's a lot of things. Like, for example, the Trump administration just had this big win in the Supreme Court saying that if you stop them prior to the border, they can't apply for asylum. And the law is
That's
very
not what it
clear
said.
on it. And you read it, and it's like,
That's not what it
yeah,
said.
you get that. Okay, so what did it say then?
It said that they don't. If they are on the Mexican side, CBP can decide to say, hey, you're saying you're on the Mexican side saying you want to claim asylum, that we do not have to accept you. However, if they still cross the border in any way, shape,
Yes.
or form, whether or not at a port of arrival, they are still allowed to claim asylum. But that's not the question I asked you. I asked you, how do we prove their documentation or lack thereof?
Well, I mean, it's pretty freaking simple. You go up to them and then you say, hey, I need to see your documentation. You should have some sort of visa. You should have some sort of anything saying that you came in. By the way, also...
And what if they say, I have the right to deny you that information? Then what do we do?
I mean, we just go from there.
Which is what? What's the next step?
Well, then we should verify. I mean, we should
And
go
how
and
do
get
we
it.
verify it?
There should be a warrant. There should be a warrant process, and it should be like, hey,
due
we have
process.
this guy.
Yay!
Mhm.
So they're not all here illegally, and you can't prove that to me because
Yeah.
in order to prove that they are here illegally, you have to go due process and do court. I'm glad that we could.
Yeah.
Glad we could get
And
that.
then also another thing that's going on is that there's a lot of fraud in the system. For
Prove
example, a lot. Yeah, no, I can exactly prove it because I'll give you a common situation of what happens is that somebody applies for a tourist visa. They apply for a tourist visa, right?
Sure.
And then they go to the Customs and Immigration and they say, "Oh, what are you going to, they go, "Well, what are you coming to America for? What are you going to do?" "Oh, I want to go do this, I want to go do that." And then as soon as they foot step on American soil, they say, "Oh, I want to claim for asylum." That's actually
No.
illegal, and that's yes, it
no,
is.
they can't do that.
Yeah,
Their
but
their
it's been
asylum-
happening.
No, prove that because their asylum application would be denied.
Well, I have
Because
a
if they
feeling
were
that
able
the
to get
Biden administration
because if they were
probably would,
able
proving
to get, you can't prove that to me. Because if you were able to get a tourist visa through DHS, you were vetted in a way that proved that you were coming here for travel. You were not allowed to claim asylum because then you are not under the asylum stipulation. So you are incorrect about that. So you would have to prove that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, and then there's a lot of people
prove that.
that
Not so.
I like how
So.
you want the burden of proof on me, but you don't want to prove anything.
I literally had it on my screen the entire fucking time you're talking. Cities with sanctuary policies save lives from domestic violence. Many communities across the U.S. have adopted so-called sanctuary policies that are intended to ensure we all live in safe neighborhoods. When these policies are in place, local police don't take part in the enforcement of federal immigration laws. These policies allow immigrants to work with local law enforcement in reporting and investigating crimes without fear for themselves or family members of being targeted for deportation. With that in mind, people are much more likely to report crimes, regardless of their immigration status. New evidence suggests one category of crime that sanctuary policies can help reduce is domestic violence in a newly released study, and it cites the study. So I absolutely did prove my point. So can you show me that people are applying for tourist visas, coming here to the United States, and then applying for asylum?
Yeah, let me look it up.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sure I can find something on the internet.
Yep, go ahead.
Monty, can you put on the back on the big screen? I'm going to give you a name to look up.
Sure.
Okay. SARA. Middle name is BELTRAN. Last name is Hernandez.
Okay.
Let's
I have a
see.
Dallas-Fort Worth video on this person, 26 from North Texas. Oh,
See, the
there's
problem
an
is that this is not something that can be a 2-second Google search. This is
Salvadorian
a little bit more
asylum seeker
complicated.
with brain tumor seized
So-
from Texas hospital. This one.
But you're gonna act like it's not happening.
Okay. Hold on, I'm going to read something. A Salvadorian woman fighting deportation has been removed by immigration officials from a Texas hospital where she was being treated for a brain tumor and returned to a detention center. Sarah Beltran Hernandez's family says that her health is deteriorating and she fears dying in the facility. The 26-year-old's legal team is asking for her release on humanitarian grounds ahead of an appointment with a neurosurgeon on Monday. A motion asking for bond is set to be filed with a Dallas immigration court on Friday, said Fatma Maraf, director of the Texas A&M University Immigrant Rights Clinic, who is working on the case. Maruf said she is also considering filing a writ of habeas corpus with a federal district court. The immigration authorities are planning to take her to an appointment on Monday, but we're worried that her condition is degenerating every day, so we're trying to get her released sooner than Monday. She said medical records showed Beltran Hernandez has a pituitary macroadenoma, a form of tumor that is typically benign but can cause painful symptoms and usually requires surgery. According to her lawyers, the mother of two from El Salvador has been held in detention since November 2015 when she requested asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border, saying that she received death threats from gang members in her hometown because her partner is a police officer. She was not released to join up with family in New York. Her asylum request was denied, and she is fighting deportation in the appeals process. Beltran Hernandez was repeatedly denied bond in the past. I don't think she's a flight risk now, given her medical condition at all. She'll probably be in a hospital if she's released, and she's barely able to move around. She's being moved in a wheelchair within the facility, so I don't really see why the judge would decide at this point that she's a flight risk.
So the reason.
So I did find something.
Hold on.
So the reason why I told you to look at that, because there's a 2015 court case about her being abused by her partner, and she was in a hospital and ICE detained her when she reported the abuse. It goes with your story, but here's one article that actually is a little bit better. ACLU.
Here, let's do this. ACLU.
Comment on ICE arrest of domestic abuse victim. 2017. Yep.
There it is. Okay, I want you to listen to this. Last week, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents arrested an undocumented victim of domestic abuse while she was seeking a protective order against her abuser at an El Paso courthouse. The woman had been accompanied to the courthouse by a victim's advocate from the Center Against Sexual and Family Violence where the woman had been living. ICE should release this woman immediately and announce as loudly and clearly as it can that undocumented victims of domestic violence or any other crime for that matter will not be punished for reporting the crimes committed against them. last week's arrest is all the more remarkable in light of a 2011 ICE memo that urges discretion when agents are dealing with an immediate victim or witness to a crime. Additionally, it is against El Paso County policy to inquire as to citizenship status in order to not discourage victims or witnesses from coming forward, including the fact, and I remember, that Donald Trump changed the policy under DHS to allow domestic violence to be a legitimate reason to claim asylum. Are you okay with that, caller?
Yeah, I think that anybody who's here illegally should be deported, and I really don't give a shit.
Asylum is the law, though, right?
Mm-hmm. So, I did find something, by the way. It did say that under the
asylum is the law.
Wait,
yes,
you
can do
told
that
me
in just
you
a
told
minute.
me to do the
You
research,
can do
and so
that
I
in
did the
just a
research,
minute.
and I found it right here.
Asylum is the law, right?
What was that?
Asylum is the law, right?
Well, from what you read, it doesn't sound like she applied for asylum, though.
Yes,
Did she No, that's not what you said. You said that she just reported it, that she was undocumented. She reported abuse.
The Salvadorian woman, the Salvadorian woman applied for asylum. The ACLU, you had a domestic violence victim. Because she reported her domestic violence, ICE picked her up with her status being undocumented. You're okay with that?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Cool. Cite your shit, piece of shit.
Also, undocumented and asylum are asylum
it's
seeking.
funny
is the
because
same
I'm
thing.
actually Hispanic. I'm actually Hispanic, but that's
so am
okay.
I, bitch. Go ahead.
No, you're not.
I am.
Let's see. Under the Biden administration's policy, individuals who
what are you reading?
It says
what Congress.gov testimony are you reading?
No, this is USCIS.gov.
USCIS.gov, some sort of press conference. What's the title at the top so I can bring it up?
I'm not too sure. I'm still in the. I haven't went to the thing. I'm in the Google AI right now.
Oh, don't do that. No, that's
But it's
bad.
pulling it up from USCIS.
No, it's not. No,
but
because
it says
actually
right
a lot
here,
a lot of the times AI Overview will cite a paragraph of something that you actually can't even find in its source. So can you source what you're pulling?
But it says having a valid tourist visa is one of the legal pathways
Source what you are
for
pulling.
asylum.
Source
blah, blah,
what you
blah,
are
blah, blah.
pulling. Source it.
Let's see.
Oh my God, what did you Google? I'll just Google what you Googled and I'll source it for you through AI since you don't know how to do it. What did you Google?
Well, now I got to go back. Now I'm reading the damn article. Let's see. Oh wait, I think I found it. Hold on.
You guys, make sure you're gifting Manny for the wonderful knowledge while he's up here, please.
Damn it. Oh, it's such a long article.
Yeah, that's why you read things before you source them. That's probably a good idea.
Well, the Google AI
what did you put
did
into
that for
Google
me.
that Google AI came up? Because then I can just find it that way.
Oh, I Googled people coming over on tourist visa applying for asylum, Biden administration.
So even the AI Overview, all that it's saying is that they are legally able to apply for asylum, not provided they do so within the first year. So again, applying by the law. But you were meant to cite me that it is happening at an excessive rate.
And what about the 400,000 missing children?
Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you do that where you just try to move on from shit that you get crushed on? No. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you try to do that? Okay, yeah, hang up. That's fine. You don't get to just move on. That's not what you're supposed to be citing for me. My God. My God. You're supposed to be citing for me that it happens a majority rate, which wouldn't even make any sense. I guarantee those asylum applications, if they were happening from people coming on tourist visas, are getting denied because they're like, well, you're coming on a tourist visa. God. Is this sort of same ASMR thing with the moaning? No, I hope not. That's not what we want at all. Okay. Luckily we didn't start a new section, so I didn't have to finish a new section, and on that note, absolutely the fuck not. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get out of here. Ooh, Ash is live. I love this. Ash has not been live in forever. He's self-deported. Yeah. You know, they say those are up. Is she debating or just chatting? I can't tell. I don't know. I think she's just chatting, so I don't want to interrupt her. Just chat. If that's the case, we can go to... We'll do Twista, probably. All right. Let me make sure I have the right one. She's always on a million different accounts. Manny demonstrated proper sourcing, and he still couldn't. I mean, we know this about Manny, though. Is anybody shocked about that with Manny? No, we're not shocked about that at all. Never. We wouldn't be. Okay. So, I don't even know, because that is... I don't like that you did that, though. So YouTube and Twitch, I'm going to send you to RTP because, you know, you guys like to do that. You guys need RTP in your life. Maybe you'll listen to a man since you don't listen to a woman, whatever. But I appreciate you guys. We're still working on that ban Randy pool. So we are halfway there. That will be back up tomorrow because men are fucking weird. So there is that. Love that for us. So thank you guys. I appreciate you and your support over here on YouTube and Twitch. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button before you go if you had not already. And I will see you guys tomorrow, Friday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. And I thank you guys for being here and dealing with whatever the fuck that was to end us. But I'm tired. I need to eat. I gotta feed my kids. And so I'm